hello, what's up this afternoon, everyone? Welcome. Fine Tuesday to you all. Good to see ya. Mr. Peaches, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big subscription for you. Thank you. How is everyone today? I know it's a little early, but I couldn't resist. I really want to play Timeless. I'm really excited for this format. This format seems so cool. So if you haven't heard about Timeless is the new Arena Vintage format. Everything's legal. There's 3 cards that are restricted. I'm really hyped. So these are the cards that have been banned on Arena in every format that we can finally play with. Blood Moon back on the menu. Brainstorms, Counterspells, Dark Rituals, Demonic Tutor. Demonic Tutor is restricted. Lightning Bolt finally. Land Tax. I don't know what you do with Land Tax. Natural Order, Necro, Nexus of Fate. Hooray. Oko's back. And also worth noting, no rebalance cards in this format. So alchemy cards are legal. I don't think we'll see many of them because I don't think they're good enough to compete with the best real cards. But like Minskin Boo is the paper Minskin Boo, the legacy staple Minskin Boo, not the weird rebalanced Minskin Boo. Same with like Teferi Time Raveler. So I am really excited for this format. I think this is going to be my new favorite format on Arena, and I am really excited to see what ridiculous things we can do. So I threw together a couple of decks that we can mess around with. However, we might do some brewing too. If you have one of these cards that you really want to brew around, maybe we do a little brewing on stream and see what busted stuff we can put together. I haven't tried to build Sneak Attack. Like, I forgot that Sneak Attack was a card. What's the best finisher for Sneak Attack? What do we put into play with Sneak Attack to win the game? There's got to be something we can do with Sneak Attack. Soul Sisters? Just play... Go to Arena Vintage and just play Soul Sisters. The other big deal about this is fetch lands. They release Khans of Tarkir on Arena today, which means fetch lands are on Arena for the first time ever. They are banned, sadly, in Historic, but they are legal in Timeless. So we get the full-on Brainstorm fetch land, ridiculous mana base. Mikaru and also Christoph, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. And Mr. Peaches, if I missed that, 3 years. Big skip cheer for all of you. Thank you. So hopefully everyone's having a wonderful day. So that's the plan for today. We're gonna mess around a bit, playing some Timeless, see if we can break this format. I got 3 decks put together so far. I think Delver's kind of ridiculous with Treasure Cruise and fetch lands. Teamer, you get Oko and Minskin Boo and Ragavans and just like all the busted stuff. Simic Nexus, I don't know if it's good, but it's probably so annoying. It's gotta be so annoying. Sneak Attacks you can tin fins. Yeah, I don't know what the finisher is. Like, there's gotta be, yeah, I guess Atrox is fine. There's no Emrakul, right? We don't have an Emrakul to just win the game right away. The other news of the day, and I got a mini rant before we start playing Magic. This set, Ravnica Remastered. So Ravnica Remastered spoilers started yesterday. Would land destruction begin this format? Sounds fun. I might have a plan for that for YouTube. So that may be in the works. So I don't think we're going to play land destruction today, but that is very high on my list. We might have to teach some Arena Zoomers about Panza or something, perhaps. So Wizards started spoiling Ravnica Remastered. This is a set coming out in January. It's all cards from Ravnica, and so the set's fine. Like, I like reprints. Reprints are good. They're good for players. They drop prices. There's Old Border, which is cool. I always like more Old Border. Old Border Shocklands are really, really sweet. There's more anime cards, so they hit me and players like me with the Old Border Shocklands, and then they give a little shout out to the Crims of the world with these anime cards, which I don't really care about the anime cards. I'm gonna get the Old Border, but there are people like Crim who really love them and collect all of them. So the special treatments are good, but I gotta give a little rant here. If you look at these cards, and I know part of this is like necessity, Yoda, but I gotta give Wizards a little poke about this one. So they started spoiling this app. Cyclonic Rift, great reprint, always $30 no matter how many times they reprint it again and again. Everyone wants it for Commander, but it's mythic. That really scares me. Also, maybe more egregious, Guardian Project. Guardian Project is the least mythic looking mythic that I have ever seen. Also got bumped up to mythic. I think the problem is there's just not enough high value cards from Ravnica, all 3 Ravnica blocks, for Wizards to get expensive mythics out of it. So they just kind of like bumped up whatever's expensive to mythic. And that's okay. I get that. I understand that there's constrictions with this set, right? It's got to be from Ravnica. So it's not like they can just be like, hey, let's put Jace the Mind Sculptor in there over Cyclonic Rift at Mythic or whatever. Let's put Craterhoof in there over Guardian Project at Mythic. That doesn't really work because of the restriction. My fear is, though, that it becomes like... a thing now. Like, I just don't want us to start thinking of Cyclonic Rift as a mythic, or Wizards, really. Like, I don't want Wizards to start thinking of Cyclonic Rift as a mythic, or Guardian Project as a mythic, because these cards really need to be rares in general for Commander purposes, so their prices don't get out of control, because they're really heavily played. So I have this fear that next time this is reprinted in, you know, Double Masters 2024 or whatever, that they're going to put it in Mythic again because they're like, hey, we put it in Ravnica. Plus, the other big news, oh, goodness. Oh, boy. Hasbro falling apart. This just came out this morning. Hasbro laying off 1,100 employees. Apparently, that is 20% of its workforce. 1 out of every 5 people. Hey, what's up, Doug? Congrats on the new job. 1 out of every 5 people that work for Hasbro are getting laid off based on slumping toy sales. Kind of scary. Like, so first off, isn't it kind of crappy to do that right before Christmas and the holidays? Like, we're approaching, we're like 2 weeks away from the holidays. Isn't that like the worst time to like, hey, guess what, 20% of my workforce, yeah, you're out of here. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, y'all. But that's kind of scary. So I don't imagine that WotC gets hit by this very hard, because WotC's like the one part of Hasbro that actually brings in a ton of money. So I've heard some like people saying like, oh, I know someone that works at WotC and they got laid off. So maybe it does a little bit, but I don't think they're going to like lay off many WotC people. But I do think, outside of just like feeling bad for the people that are getting wrecked right in the holiday season, which is like just so crappy to do to people, the other thing I think it means for us is, I bet this means more Secret Lairs. What can we remaster next? Like, I think that Wizards, because the rest of Hasbro is doing so horrible, there's going to be even more pressure on Wizards itself to make even more money, to print even more products, to upgrade even more things to Mythic, because they got to support this whole behemoth company of bad, outdated games and movies no one cares about. I guess the D&D movie was really good, but there's a lot of like just really bad products coming out of Hasbro, and WotC's got to support all of them. So that's what I fear a little bit about this, is not so much that like Mark Rosewater is going to get laid off for a lot of WotC people we know. I don't think that's going to happen, but I do think it means they're going to like keep squeezing WotC. You got to milk the cow as hard as you can in those hard times. So that part's a little bit scary. Hey Seth, will Ravnica Remastered be standard legal? Also, will it be available on Arena? No, and also no. So it's a paper only set, does not change legality, so the cards will be legal in whatever formats they were already legal in, but it's all just reprints. Megatire, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Well, let's do reminders and let's do some timeless things. So reminders really quick. Replay YouTube. Hopefully everyone had a wonderful weekend, by the way. Also, the Bills won. I know we don't talk about sports ball very much, but it's a time to celebrate in upstate New York when the Bills actually did not blow a lead for one weekend. Replay YouTube, that's where you'd find all the old streams. Normal YouTube, yesterday we talked some Throat Wolf, we had spoilers, there's some really cool decks coming up. Timeless will be coming soon, there's some more Modern coming up this week on the YouTube, so lots of cool gameplay coming on the YouTube. A reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. If you need some magical cards, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish, and we get a free goldfish sticker. Just be like, hey, we want one, and they'll hook you up. They're super cool like that. So thank you to Card Kingdom for supporting the show. And let's talk some Magic. Wait, so how do we break Sneak Attack? Look at Caldera. What in the world is Caldera Breaker? I don't know what that card is. Is that a Magic card? Caldera Breaker. Huh. So what's the difference between Timeless and Historic? Okay, so before we talk about this deck, let me explain the differences real quick. So here are the big differences. There's 2 differences. One is fetch lands are banned in Historic. They are legal, as you can see here, in Timeless. So the availability of fetch lands, that's number 1. The other difference is Historic has bannings and rebalancings. We do not have those in Timeless. In Timeless, no rebalance cards every card plays as its paper version. There are alchemy cards. Alchemy cards do exist, although I don't expect we'll see them much because I just don't think they're good enough. So I think it's hopefully like a no harm, no foul. The big difference though is the ban list. So every card that's banned in Historic, Dark Ritual, Demonic Tutor, Blood Moons, all these cards we're looking at, there's some of the most broken cards in the game's history, the most, and Spreading Seas, but some of the most powerful cards in the game, the most powerful cards on Arena, they're banned in Historic, but in Timeless, they are legal. What they're doing is, in Timeless, instead of banning cards, it's going to have a restricted list like Vintage, so you can still play everything. Worst case, if something gets banned, you only get to play one copy of it. So right now, Channel is restricted, Demonic Tutor is restricted, and Tibalt's Trickery are restricted. Otherwise, this huge list of banned cards, it's all fair game. We can do all the broken stuff, and we get to play real Okos, real Teferis, Swords to Plowshares, Lightning Bolts, all these cards that Wizards just wouldn't let us play with. Suddenly, we can play with, so it's basically Arena Vintage. So we're gonna try a bunch of stuff probably today, but I think so. This is one of my early picks for most busted decks in the format, and this is a deck that is really trying to take advantage of fetch lands. So if you've been playing Magic for a minute, is Timeless gonna be more powerful than Legacy? I think it could be. It might already be, and it will, well, no, probably not. I think it'll end up more powerful than Modern in another year or two. Whether or not it actually beats Legacy, that's probably not yet. I think beating Legacy in power is going to be hard, but I do think, like, there's a lot of cards that don't exist in Modern because they were printed in supplemental products, because they're banned in Modern that exist in this format. So I do think it can beat Modern in power level. Does this mean Historic's dead? Now that people play old cards in Arena, only stupid cards, I'm very curious. I think that, so the formats do feel a little bit different. There's like, so the fetch lands are a really huge difference. You might just think, oh, land cycle doesn't really matter, but the fetch lands really change the decks that can build and can succeed in the format. So I do think the formats are going to feel a little different. Although my initial reaction is, I think that one of the formats will die out eventually. Like, I think that a year or two from now, like, players will gravitate towards one or the other, and one will become like a fringe format that not many people play, and one will be the winner of this battle between the two formats. So I do think they're competing with each other. Naya Artifacts. Ooh. I mean, Anna Pikel is, whew, that card's so good. That card really impressed me. Yeah, I think there's a lot of cool artifact synergies in Standard. I think artifacts might be a little bit underrated. I wonder, could this be a Sir Ginger deck? Whenever I see artifacts and counters, I think of Sir Ginger. Yeah, that looks fun. All right, so what are we starting with? We are starting with Delver. So if you've been playing Modern for a little while, or Magic for a little while, you might remember 2015. 2015, Wizards dropped Khans of Tarkir. In Khans of Tarkir was these Delve spells, Treasure Cruise, and these spells basically broke Modern and Legacy and Vintage. So Treasure Cruise, it looks like it costs a million mana, 8 mana technically, but it has Delve, so we can exile cards from her graveyard to help pay its cost. So it's really often just Ancestral Recall, one of the strongest cards in the game's history. It lasted like 3 months in Modern before they ended up banning it because it just literally broke the format. And the deck that broke the format was a Delver shell. Like, you're just super aggressive, you play your Lightning Bolts, you play your aggro creatures, and then Treasure comes down to refill your hand with all the cheap spells that get in your graveyard. So this is essentially trying to recreate the deck that broke Modern with Treasure Cruise in Timeless. So our threats are Dragon Rage Channeler, Monastery Swiftspear, Soulscar Mage. I actually don't think Ragavan's good enough for the deck. Alanaris, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big tip for you. Thank you. Yes, we will definitely be handing out some lessons to Arena Zoomers with these new unbanned cards for the first time. I have Ragavan in other decks. I don't actually think Ragavan's very good in this deck. I don't think it's aggressive enough for this deck. So we have all these prowess threats. We stick our prowess threats. We have a bunch of cheap spells. Brainstorm with fetch lands, kind of ridiculous. Consider fills the graveyard. Lightning Bolt, Faithless Looting, also Unholy Heat. So essentially we just like play our things, sling our spells, Treasure Cruise refuels, and we win the game with this huge burst of damage and also card advantage. It's kind of wild. So let's start with some Delver. There's Spell Pierces in the sideboard. I don't have any counters in the main deck. I don't know, maybe I regret it. We'll see. I think it partly depends on the meta. Like, how combo-y is the meta? If the meta is very combo-y, then we probably need Spell Pierces in the main. I've only gotten to play a couple matches so far because the format just went live. Seen so far a lot of people playing like Lurrus, Piles, and whatnot. Well, let me see, Naz. What list are we working with? Mid-range Pile A. Hey, Timeless Brews. Ooh. Whew. I mean, I think Minsc and Boo is sneakily one of the best cards in this format. Yeah, that's one of the cool things. Like, now that there's fetch lands, you can just kind of like play all the best. Oh, Deathrite's on Arena? Deathrite's on Arena. Oh, I forgot all about Deathrite. Deathrite's essentially unbanned because fetches exist now. Oh, I'm gonna have to build a Deathrite deck. Oh, that changes things. I forgot about Deathrite's ridiculous. Oh, that's I forgot about Deathrite. That looks sweet, Naz. That looks super. I mean, you got all the most powerful cards. That's for sure. Yeah, this is fine. Some one-drops, some Faithless Looting. So out of those banned cards, what do you think would be the most... Yeah, let's hold on to the fetches. What do you think would be the most fun to actually play? I'm actually... Hey, what's up, Monster? How are you? I'm actually going to be interested to see fetch lands. I wonder how many Arena players have not actually played with fetch lands. Fetch lands really change how... do we play this first? So we want to save the expressive iterations for next turn. So I guess we can... All right, let's do it this way. Let's play Bloodstained Mire, crack Bloodstained Mire. Yeah, so channel's restricted. It's going to be hard to build full-on channel decks just because that is one of the cards that actually did get restricted. Like, fetches are so much more than just lands. They, like, they just straight up change how the game is actually played. Like, it's... I don't know if people realize what a big impact it is. Like, fetch lands are unique. Out of all the lands in Magic, I don't think there's another cycle of lands in Magic that have the same gameplay impact that fetch lands do. And we're kind of going off a little on turn 2 here. Mono Red and Timeless. Yeah, I bet there's a really good burn deck. I have an Oko deck. Mine's Teamer, actually, G Fuel Cold. But I do have a Oko... I don't know, is it value? I guess it's kind of value Pile A, but it is an Oko. Well, hit you for 3. An Oko Minsc and Boo deck. Are you building a Blood Moon deck? Oh yes, many Blood Moon decks. Oh, are they playing Nexus? Oh, they're playing Field of the Dead. Haha. All right, well, we're gonna need to be aggro. This might be Nexus. I don't know if we beat Nexus. See, look at this. It is turn 3. It's gonna be our turn 3. We can already Ancestral Recall. That's how easy it is to fill the graveyard. We can already Ancestral Recall on turn 3. There is a little non-bow. I do wonder. So Dragon Rage Channeler wants the graveyard full. There's a little non-bow between DRC and exiling a graveyard to Treasure Cruise. If you want to play a Deathrite Shaman deck, feel free to play behind. Yeah, maybe we'll try it, Naz. There's a lot of value there for sure. Hey, Seth, don't you think that only reason Wizards decided to put Alchemy cards in Timeless, that they would otherwise kill Alchemy completely? Don't you think that if Alchemy cards were healthy, they would have been better with a larger difference between Historic and Timeless? So... In my dream world, we would not have Alchemy cards in Timeless. So that I will say. The thing is, though, in this case, I understand why they would do it, I think. Like, this is a situation where... Actually, maybe we get rid of one expressive iteration. So put those on top. Grow that. So now you get to play the Flooded Strad, crack the Flooded Strad, get a Steam Vents, shuffle stuff away, play another Dragon Rage Channeler, go to combat, hit you for 5, and then go on a bit of a cruise here. Land. I guess we just leave the lootings as much. Oh, we really want to leave an artifact. Yeah, we'll exile 1 looting. All right. Well, draw 3. Treasure Cruise is kind of busted. Do we even want the Swift Spear? I guess we'll keep it. We do need to kill our opponent pretty quickly here, though, because they are to 5 lands. They got a Field of the Dead, and they're gaining life with Uro. Go, Los. Okay. Bustarino. Gonna have to find some lightning bolts. We have not found any lightning bolt yet. Do you think that Timeless will overtake Modern? I hope not, because I think Modern can be good, but Timeless seems fun. I don't think they're really competing that much, because... another Bobble. Yeah, I guess I can go Graveyard. We want bolts. Soulscar Mage, you're not a bolt. Surveil. Crack this. Take a peek to Fairy. Well, let's... Expressive Iteration. Get a few triggers. There's a bolt. There's a bolt. Well, bolt to hand. Considered a library. Bolt to exile. Play the Fiery Islet. Go to combat. Attack you. Oh, are they dead? 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 Bolt your face. Doesn't matter. And that is the Power Treasure Cruise. Opponent to 11. Opponent. Lightning bolt. Lightning bolt. Oh, that felt good. Oh, try to Field of the Dead us, opponent. Oh. Yeah, opponent probably should have blocked there. So the reason that I don't blame... You know what might be good against Field of the Dead? What about a playset of Blood Moons in the sideboard? So the reason that I don't blame WotC too much for adding Alchemy to this format is, if you're gonna do Vintage, then you have to make all the cards legal, right? That's the whole gimmick of Vintage. So even though I would prefer, for my personal sanity, I would prefer that that we didn't have Alchemy cards, just because I think it would play, but I would enjoy how it played better. I will also say that I understand in this format why they did it. Like, it makes sense to me, because if you're going to do Vintage, you just want everything to be legal. So it does make sense to me why in this format in specific, they would make them legal. I do love my Blood Moons. Why are Bolt and Counter Spells rare? Why are Cyclonic Rift and Guardian Project mythic? I think the actual answer is just greed. Capitalism. It's capitalism. That's going to be my answer from now on. Whenever anyone asks me about the rarity of a card, capitalism. The Tony Mac! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much. Can we keep this? We really need to hit a land, but we do have the Blood Moon. That hand's kind of jank. Yeah, let's mulligan. Ooh, okay. This hand is less jank, and it still has the Blood Moon. So if you decide to do some Blood Mooning on Magic Arena, what do we put to the bottom? A fetch? Do we just trust that we draw another land? Yeah, let's go fetch to the bottom. So if you decide to do some Blood Mooning, keep in mind that the fetches you play are very important. So we are in Izzet deck. We want to make sure that as many fetches as possible can fetch up basic islands. So something like Pluto Delta, it can get a basic mountain, it can get Steam Vent, so we can still get red mana if we need it, and then it can also get a basic island, because we want to have 1 or 2 basic islands on the battlefield before we actually do our Blood Moon shenanigans. Well, DRC go. Delphi Guru, hey, what's up, Delphi? How are you for the 24th month, 2-year resub? Welcome back to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Oh, punished for not getting the fetch land punished. We should have got the dual land, I guess, so we could leave up this counter spell. Oops. Oh, Gross Spire. Oh boy. Our opponent might be in trouble. Field of the Dead. Do you think they have Spell Pierce? Do you think they have Spell Pierce, chat? Do we just go for it? We can't play... I guess we maybe want one more island in this deck. We can't play this deck Afraid, right? We can't play this deck Afraid. You can't jam 4 Blood Moons and then not cast a Blood Moon because there might be a Spell Pierce. Opponent, are we still playing Magic or are we done? Do you have a Spell Pierce? Faithless Looting can go Graveyard. Oh! Oh! GG! 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 Mono red. Opponents, I guess they're Gruul technically. Golos. It's a good card. Gonna get a Cascading Cataract. I mean, I guess we could lose still. I guess there's a world. Wow, are they playing a single basic land? They might be playing a single basic land. Well, let's brainstorm. I do think I misbuilt this deck slightly. I think we want 2 basic islands, and I only put in 1. So we brainstorm. How do we turn this on? Sorcery. We need an artifact in the graveyard. We need an instant in the graveyard. Okay, so how we do this is we put this back and we put this back. Counterspell on top. So we play Bobble. We mill the counterspell. Get an instant in the graveyard. We crack Bobble. See what our opponent's about to draw. Oko. Oko cannot hit enchantments, though, and they don't have blue mana. Okay, that's fine. Dragonray Channeler, number 2. And hit you a bit. And then, I guess for the rub-ins, just, like, kill the Golos? This is not going well for our opponent. Our opponent they just wanted to play Field of the Dead and make a bunch of zombies with Okos. They were trying to play good, clean, fair Magic. Mountain. Opponent passes. Well, we will play a Swift Spear, play a Bloodstained Mire, do a little cruising. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We do need to keep our things turned on. Okay. So wait, we got an artifact, instant, sorcery, land. Okay, that works. Ancestral Recall. Draw 3 for 1. Pump our team. Surveil. Mill it to the graveyard. Soulscar Mage. Don't really need that. Draw some cards. Is this lethal? So we hit for 8, 9, 10. That looks like lethal. Bolt you. Trigger, trigger, trigger. Sure, we'll keep a bolt. I don't even think we need it. That was a blood. That is the power of Blood Moon. See, this is why Blood Moon is not poor opponent. This is why Blood Moon is a healthy fair card. This is why Blood Moon is a healthy fair card. Look at what our opponent's trying to do. Look at what our opponent's trying to do. They have a strategy built around a deck that is around a card that's so busted. It was banned in Standard, it's banned in Pioneer, it's banned in Modern, in Field of the Dead. They're built around trying to maximize this power of this mistakenly busted land, backing up with Okos and all the ramps and Goloses. This is where I think Blood Moon is the good guy. This is where Blood Moon's the good guy, in my opinion. And I know if you use that argument, people will be like, oh, you just like janking people out. That is true. I do like janking people out. But multiple things can be true. It can be true that I am very biased in favor of Blood Moon because I just love getting people with Blood Moon. But also, there are times when like people are doing degenerate things with their lands, and Blood Moon is like healthy to have in the format to keep those things from being out of line. So Blood Moon should be reprinted in Standard. Oh, I would love it. How many people do you think would quit Arena? White Lotus, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super thank you. Yeah, we need one more basic island. Let's look at our mana base here real quick. So because of the Blood Moons on the sideboard, what we want to do is we want to Whatever, we'll craft them. I'm gonna need to place that all of them afterway. Anyway, we want to skew towards blue fetch lands to be able to get our basic island. Do we need the fiery islet? Maybe we cut that. Right now we have what, 10 fetches? Yeah, we can cut the islet. We'll cut the islet for an island. Run it like that. Cut his steam vent. We could cut his steam vent. You don't need 4 shocks for those fetches. Yeah, we could go 3. We have to make sure we have enough fetchable lands. So what do you think of the idea of Timeless? Does this format appeal to you? Like, I know a lot of y'all play. Oh, Goblin Lackey is a card that probably should be in this format. Murktide's in Modern. Murktide not on Arena. Yeah, so Modern Horizons 2 is not on Arena. Although Modern Horizons 3 will be on Arena. Yeah, I think this is one of the better choices WotC's made in a while. But are you going to play it? Like, are you a historic player? Do you play Timeless more now? I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'll get sick of it. Maybe we'll end up in a place where, like, Nexus is the only deck in the format, and that's like tier 0 or whatever. Maybe that happens, but for right now, I feel like I am more likely to play Timeless than Historic, I think. What about bringing restrictions to more formats? Yeah, the cost is high. That is true. I was noticing that even today. Like, a lot of the unbanned cards we were talking about before are not in the collection, and they're higher rarity. So a lot of wild cards. Will Timeless kill Historic? I think it's possible. I think that as the format goes along, it seems like there's no way they're going to be equally popular, right? That seems unlikely to me. So I feel like one's going to win, either Historic or Timeless. Right now, Timeless is the shiny new toy, so maybe that's why I think it's going to win, but we'll see. All right, opponent's drawing an Overgrown too. The power of Brainstorm. This hand looks so bad, but a single Brainstorm makes it good. Watery Grave. Oh, just kidding. This is not as good. Bowmasters is super annoying here. Well, okay. Our dreams have been shattered. Do we even Brainstorm? We can't shuffle. So there's, well, we can put back. Yeah, it's probably still worth it. We got to find a bolt, basically. Ouch. Ouch, 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 ouch. Well, this is not looking great. Oh, no, we got the baubles. So we're going to draw both of those cards. Yeah, that was like the worst Brainstorm ever. This turn 2 Bowmaster is a problem. Seth, with one or more players on Arena over time, I think all formats are around for the long haul. I mean, yeah, like we've seen, from everything we can see, Alchemy has been a hard flop, and WotC keeps supporting it and doubling down on it. So I think it seems unlikely to me that they... Well, I mean, it's hard to brainstorm wrong, but if you think about how this brainstorm, what it actually did, it didn't really do anything. Like, we drew 3 cards, we put back 2 of them. We're not going to be able to crack a fetch. We're going to draw the Bloodstained Mire. Then we're going to draw off the... draw off this Mystra's Bauble. So we're just going to draw the same 2 lands we put back anyway. Brainstorm without a fetch is actually a bad card. Like, if you can't shuffle your library, it's very mediocre. With a fetch, it is almost Ancestral Recall. It's a ridiculous card. But this Bowmasters just really forced our hand, essentially. Like... If it wasn't for Bowmasters, we were set up to, like, next turn, play a fetch, Brainstorm, shuffle away some extra lands. But this Bowmaster just, like, really, really sped things up. I wish they did Timeless without digital-only cards. That would be nice just to, like, separate the formats even more. Like, I think for both formats to succeed, you want them to feel different. Like if they end up feeling the same, that's a bad thing. Opponent. Muffin. Muffin. Where are you, Muffin? All right, Muffin has returned apparently. Well, we'll play a land. Yes, this is gonna be bad. We do not have that long of a time to draw a lightning bolt. Well, we'll play a DRC, which is already a 3/3. Pass the turn. The worst case scenario for Timeless is the format gets solved and once he takes too long to fix it. Kind of like when Pioneer, yes, that did happen with Pioneer and it was very bad. Are we about to get elked? You know what? I'm starting to think that Timeless players are greedy. Look at this mana base. I think people, they see fetch lands and see shock lands and they just go ham. Blood Moon is looking pretty nice in this format. Yeah, but Timeless already feels different in a good way compared to Historic. That's true. And honestly, like, so I really think the digital only cards are at this point a non-issue. Maybe you see a Crucius once in a while, a Fragment Reality. Even those cards though, like Fragment Reality is less appealing in a world where Swords to Plowshares exist, for example. So I'm not sure we're gonna see like a huge impact from those cards. I'm kind of thinking we're not gonna see a huge impact from those cards. If our opponent wants to trade their Bowmasters, we would be thrilled. All right, opponent does not want to trade their Bowmasters. That makes sense. I just built 8 Moon deck in Wreck Ruins Day. Who cares if we win? There's only Blood Moon on Arena though. We don't have an 8th Moon, do we? Do we even cast this? So if we cast this, they just Thoughtseize what we find. Yeah, I guess we don't. Yeah, I get that, Stone Rain. And I'm there with you. Like, on a personal level, I would rather the format not have digital only cards. So I'm there with you in that sense. From a more pragmatic sense, though, I actually think the digital only cards are going to be way less impactful on this format than they are in Historic. So I think that's maybe a little bit of good news, if that makes sense. Our Kingdom for a Lightning Bolt. Also, at least if we lose, we get to sideboard in Blood Moon. And our opponent, I mean, I guess they do have the Deathrite Shaman, which is relatively good. Well, attack. Maybe we can get him with Ottawa. Opponent, would you like to let your Oko die, please? Or your Bowmasters, either one. Opponent, blocks and blocks. Is that even worth saving? They're just gonna elk anyway. Yeah, we're getting rolled here. Opponent's deck looks pretty strong. It doesn't look like it can beat a Blood Moon, but it does look powerful. Well, yeah, your go. No Strip Miner Wasteland. We need a set that has like Masterpiece land theme. I guess we had that in Zendikar. We need one that actually comes to Arena. So last time that we had that no ban event, we played some Blood Moon decks. I think you can build very good Blood Moon decks in this format. The question is, do you go Gruul and try to build modern Ponza? Like, I'm already thinking we're gonna have to teach Arena Zoomers about Ponza. That's on my to-do list. But his Bowmasters is so obnoxious. Backed by Oko, especially. Well, I mean, we're gonna play this. You're just gonna get elked. Not being able to draw cards kind of defeats the entire purpose of this deck. If we can draw a bolt to get rid of the Bowmasters and go back to drawing cards, we can get back into this. It's possible. So wait, so if we, but I'm gonna do a video about Ponza. If I do a video about Ponza and we play Ponza on stream, are you still gonna watch the video? Do you promise? Cross your heart? Because I already know I'm going to do teaching arena zoomers about Ponza or whatever. Oh, opponent. Going off with the death, right? What is the best 5-mana haste dragon? Might be Goldspan. There's no Storm Breath on Arena, right? Ooh, Teamer Ponza. I wonder if with fetch lands, we could probably jam Blood Moon in a 3-color shell, right? We've seen that in the past. Oko, Bloodbraid Elves. Is Bloodbraid Elf even worth it anymore? Oh, Glorybringer might actually be better. Are you gonna play some Tarkir cards? Here comes Big J. I'm sure we will. I don't know if we'll play too many Tarkir cards today in specific. We'll play a lot of fetch lands. But what else? I was looking at Tarkir. I was actually kind of surprised at like how lacking in impact the set is in some ways. I think we have one turn to draw. I don't even know. We have one turn to draw like Lightning Bolt into Treasure Cruise, I think. I think that's basically it. Opponent passes. Soul Scar Mage. All right, sideboarding it is. I was looking at Khans of Tarkir, and I was actually surprised at like how little of an impact it's gonna have on Arena. Like, and this isn't a bad thing. So the fetch lands are the big deal. They are like the biggest deal. They're going to have a huge impact. But a lot of the really good cards already on Arena, like Clever Impersonator, Hardened Scale, Sorin, like a lot of them have already made their way onto Arena. So what are like the spicy cards? So Narset can do some cool combo-y things. This might be a scary Historic Brawl deck. Maybe can we Narset combo in Historic Brawl? So that's a cool one. Jeskai Ascendancy, that's a new card that has some Pioneer impact, so that could be relevant for like Explorer. Villainous Wealth is probably one of the coolest cards. I do love resolving Villainous Wealth, so I'm sure we'll have to do like an Against the Odds Villainous Wealth or something. We even have Nykthos. Nykthos can make so much mana. Just playing your opponent's entire deck. Man, Khans is such a cool set. I have fond memories of playing Khans in Standard. There were some... Well, we're going to bring in Blood Moons and a little more removal. I guess we trim back on some of the card draws, since apparently our opponent's one of those Orcish Bowmaster kind of people. Trim. Yeah, we'll go to one more looting. Let's try it like that. Hoots Magoots! Neatuk! 5-year resub. Welcome back to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Neatuk, were you... So you were watching the stream before you started working for Goldfish, right? We're gonna keep this. It's a little land heavy, but our deck is full of card draw, so we should be able to find... card draw, and we actually have an Unholy Heat, so we can kill the silly Bowmaster this time. Well, land, Bobble, Soulscar, take a peek, see what they're drawing. Hopefully nothing too good. Lonely End. What? 2 mana, target creature gets -3/-3. Remove 3 loyalty from target planeswalker. If you weren't the starting player, you gain 3 life. Just when I said no one would play alchemy cards, why would you play this card though? Why? I mean, why? What's the point? Is that really one of the best removal spells in the format? It can't be. There's no way. Well, let us play a Flooded Strand, crack a Flooded Strand, get a Steam Vents untapped. We'll run out of Swift Spear. Go to combat, attack you. Oh, do we kill the Deathrite? Is it worth killing the Deathrite? So this is actually something I wish there was a way they could do more in paper. The part that makes it digital is the last part, that if you lose the die roll and you're not playing first, you get to gain 3 life. So couldn't you do that in paper though? There's got to be a way you could do that in paper. If they untap and play Bowmasters, I swear, chat, I blame you, each and every one of you. But we'll heat the Shaman, get in for 4. I wish is there a way you couldn't do that? It seems like you could. Yeah, Gemstone Caverns exist. Like, couldn't you just put this in a standard set? You gotta track one more thing, but it's 2023. Does that even matter? Like, oh, we gotta track one more thing. We live in a world where you gotta track a ridiculous amount of stuff. So many mechanics, like, are just not built. No, we're gonna keep that. We will keep the Bolt. We will play Polluted Delta. We'll go to combat. We'll hit ya. I mean, we kind of want some card draw, but opponent's down to 11. We got 2 Swift Spears. We got a Bolt in hand. GR Machello for the 1-year resub. Welcome back to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big Tip video. Yeah, I never miss podcasts. I think since we started doing the podcast, I think I've missed... Man, there's maybe like... This might be the second podcast out of 463 episodes that I have not been on. I don't know. Maybe there's more in the past that I missed that I'm not remembering, but I feel like that is probably true. Yesterday, it was unfortunate. We record the podcast at noon on Mondays, Eastern time, and at like 11:15, my power just hard cut out. Didn't come back on until 2. So there was just nothing we could really do, especially since we had a Commander Clash recording right after that. So it's not like we could just push back the podcast a little bit. I've been really enjoying it. I get to Blood Moon people. Why am I so afraid of a counter here? I am so afraid of a counter. Well, I mean, let's go cruising, I guess. 1, 2, 3. So they could have memory lapse, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And 5. Actually, they could have Spell Pierce. And 6. And 7. All right, I guess we're going all the way. I was thinking we wanted to leave some cards in the graveyard in case they got memory lapse. But I think playing around Spell Pierce by leaving up 2 mana is probably better. Come on. No, are you going to Bowmasters us? Opponent. Seriously? Again? Again. Friggin' Bowmasters. Oh god, into double Brainstorm. Oh god, we're so dead. Bowmasters. Boom. I mean, if we're gonna die to Bowmasters, we're gonna die to Bowmasters. Oh, we're done. We can't beat Bow. We can't beat a Bow. That was going so well too. Maybe we found the fatal flaw with this deck. Maybe we found the... Hey, what's up, Benny? How are you? Good to see ya. Maybe we found the fatal flaw, which is Bowmasters. If we do not find a removal spell, just like straight up locks us. Restrict it, Wadsy. It stopped us from drawing cards. Bowmasters is a messed up card. I agree with Krim's take on Timeless. You'll queue into it a few times a month and get tired of it. Interesting. I don't know. Maybe. I think one of the upsides, I think for me, there's a couple of big upsides. One is less likely to play against digital only cards. I think that's huge. And then even more importantly, no rebalance cards. And for me, that's even more important than the digital only cards. The digital only cards, I kind of see as an annoyance rather than a deal breaker at this point. the rebalance cards, absolutely hate it. That is one of my biggest issues with Arena is the rebalance cards are so brutal. Well, that's awkward. That's very awkward. Well, I guess we're putting back a couple of cruises. Cruise and cruise, play a land. We were hoping for a fetch land, one of our many fetch lands, not another basic, but play the Swift Spear hit ya. How would you rebalance Bowmasters? I mean, so they already rebalance Bowmasters. The way that they rebalance Bowmasters is taking away the ETB trigger. Although rebalancing Bowmasters in that way made it stone unplayable. It went from like one of the best cards of all time to like straight up unplayable Jag. Hey, what's up, BG? Good to see ya. I'm doing well. I'm enjoying playing these broken cards. We'll build a Blood Moon deck in a minute. But let's do another game or two of this one, and we'll build Blood Moon. We'll try. So okay, here's the thing, chat. So I already mentioned we're gonna do a Panza video for YouTube. So I don't want to play the same exact deck. What style of Blood Moon deck do you want to see? Well, let's kill this Swift Spear. Untap, draw a Swift Spear, play a Swift Spear. Go cruise it. 1, 2, 3. Treasure Cruise is so ridiculous. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, our opponent's deck shouldn't be mono red. It should be Izzet, just so they can play Treasure Cruise, I'm pretty sure. Like, I actually think that is the correct way to build Bird. Treasure Cruise is just so strong that I think it's worth it. Blue Moon, Mono Red Prison. Okay, we can build Mono Red Prison. Any chance of building GDS? Wait, what is GDS? Oh, come on. Let our Dorat stick. Let our Dorat stick. We wanna. Ooh, our Dorat's gonna stick. Okay. Okay. And we have the fetch land to go with our Brainstorm. So, play Monastery Swift Spear. Brainstorm. Draw some cards. Get some triggers. And opponent scoops it up. Oh, Grixis Death Shadow. Death Shadow you can probably build. That's one of the things I was thinking. You can actually build like a pretty modern looking Death Shadow deck. You can build a pretty legacy looking Natural Order deck. There's some busted cards that are legal. Like, man, maybe we got to do a tier list of these cards or something. This is a busted list of cards. And then also Spreading Seas. And also, what do you think about land tax? Is there any way to actually make a land tax? Like, what do we do with land tax in this format? Can we build like, I kind of want to build a land tax deck just for the fun of it. Also, Intruder Alarm combos are legal for once. Hello, Goldfish. I'm new to Magic the Gathering Arena. I finished tutorial, finished the color pack quest, and I inputted the promo cards for extra packs. I want to start building my first deck. Love the blue style. Tips for building my first deck. So I would say, opponent's playing Burn. This is not our Blood Moon matchup. Spell Pierce is probably good though. Spell Pierce seems reasonable. Maybe Stern Scoldings. Let's try it like that. So I would say you like blue. You're gonna build your first deck. I would look at existing decks to get an idea of like some cards that people use, some stuff that that might work for what you're trying to do. So I would recommend. I assume you're playing Standard. I would go over to the site and just kind of look through the metagame. You don't have to, I mean, you can just straight up use someone's list. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can kind of get an idea, like, okay, Pirates is kind of like a blue-based deck. What kind of cards are they playing? How many removal spells are they playing? So I would start there. Fairies is another, like, similar, not mono blue, but still a lot of cheap blue creatures, back it up with some removal. So you get kind of an idea, okay, what's the curve look like? You don't want, a whole bunch of 6 mana cards and no cheaper cards. So I would recommend kind of just browsing around and looking at what other people are doing, and then use that knowledge to help push your deck building experience forward. Are you trying Channel? Channel's tough because Channel's restricted. So Channel's restricted, so I don't know if you can really build around a restricted card. I think you can play a restricted card, but I don't know if you can really, like, straight up build your deck around it. Yeah, we got a lot. We drew all of our creatures this game. Player Jables, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big safety for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Right now we are doing some Is It treasure cruising. Although, yeah, you can get your restricted channel with your restricted demonic tutor. And then we're gonna build a Blood Moon deck of some kind. The players demand some Blood Mooning. Although, look at this. This is a bad Blood Moon matchup. I don't know. Mono Red Prison is probably the archetype I feel most comfortable building. That's one of my favorites. I've built so many Blood Moon decks. Well, we will play a Soulscar Mage and Island and pass the turn. So not actually looking that great though. Opponent's like kind of going off. Maybe we should have mulliganed the all creature hand. We're actually like creature flooded. Found it when it fails. Why are they playing foul? They have Grim Lavamancer, I see. I mean, Blood Moon is kind of my thing. Maybe we can build Blood Moon Sneak Attack. Maybe that's the Blood Moon deck that we build. I think we actually counter this because we can get value out of it, and it pumps our team enough that our opponent can't easily attack. Or they mill a Bobble. Brainstorm is actually a ridiculously huge draw here. So play the Dragon Rage Channeler. Brainstorm. I mean, our advantage in this matchup is we get card draw and our opponent does not. Mill the land. Draw 3. Put back Soulscar Mage, Monastery Swiftspear. Play Bloodstained Mire. Oh, how do we not die? I think we actually just pass. I don't think we attack. We might shock ourselves and consider to grow the Soul Scourges and block. Oko is very much legal. Wow, the full price. See, you should be playing Treasure Cruise, not Light Up the Night. Maybe everyone's playing on a budget. That would make sense. If you're trying to stay mono red because of the budget. Lightning Strike and Lightning Bolt. Opponent. I'm gonna get in with a flyer. Yeah, not great. Down to 12. And opponent's gonna pass. Whew, that's a lot of burn in hand. That's a lot of burn in hand. Please bolt our creature. They bolt a Soulscar Mage? Okay, sure. That is the best thing our opponent could have bolted for us. Grab a Steam Vents. Gotta play it tapped, unfortunately. Draw a Bobble. Well, play the Bobble. Trigger. Surveil away the land. We want to get to this Treasure Cruise. Sack the Bobble. Swiftspear on top. Good to know. 6 cards in the graveyard. Let's consider. Trigger. I don't think that does it. We need Unholy. We need to kill this Dragon Rage Channeler. Mill it. Draw. Treasure Cruise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Draw 3, because Treasure Cruise is ridiculous. Surveil. Away the Dragon Rage Channeler. Lightning Bolt. I mean, Lightning Bolt's something, but still doesn't kill this. Still doesn't kill this DRC, unfortunately. Bonus, Swiftspear. Combat. Big attack. Well, we will block. And bolt the etchings. Wow, they're lightning striking the creature? Our opponent has played this in a very... I can respect that. Our opponent's got a Blood Moon. This is not the matchup for the Blood Moon, because we're also playing Blood Moons, but I do respect that our opponent's trying. How do we win with sneak attack though? What is the payoff? That's the problem that I run into. Well, we gotta crack this and thin our deck. We're in a very scary place here. This is a very scary place to be. We draw Brainstorm. We will cast a Brainstorm. Well, there's the Unholy Heap. That is one of the cards we were looking for. So Stern Scolding goes away. Opponent has 2 blockers. Actually, do we keep Stern Scolding? We can already Treasure Cruise again, which is absurd. So put back Stern Scolding. Put back Consider. Unholy Heath the Dragon Rage Channeler. Mill the Consider. Play Swift Spear. Play Dragon Rage Channeler. Play Flooded Strand. Hit you for 3. Can we survive? We're at 4, so we're not in Bolt Rage. Blood Moon. Oh, opponent's Blood Mooning. Neoform Hooting Mandrills. Yeah, that's probably pretty good. It's just, I don't think Historic's dead. I don't think it's dead. Is this bait? Are they trying to bait us into the Lightning Bolt kill? Is this a trap? You know what? I think we exist with 1 blue. I think that's fine. I think I'd rather have 1 blue mana. I think I'd rather have 1 blue mana than Wait, how many bolts do we have? Is there a way we win? We'd have to hit double Lightning Bolt. This plus this kills us. Stern Scolding does nothing. The question is, do we attack first? We do have 2 islands. We added another island. Snapcaster is on Arena. This deck could play a Snapcaster. All right, go to combat. Hit ya. We need a really good cruise in here. This has to be a really good cruise in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Come on, Treasure Cruise. Come on, Treasure Cruise. Double bolt, double bolt, double bolt for the win, double bolt for the win. Brainstorm, can't cast it to the graveyard. Faithless Looting to the graveyard. Ooh, okay. Okay. That wasn't double bolt, but this is good. So we get to kill the Grim Lavamancer. Get some triggers. Treasure Cruise is such a ridiculous card. I don't even think we need Dorad anymore. Mill it. Get that out of here. Pass the turn. Opponent. What do you find? Goes to combat attacks. Well, we will block here. We will bolt the Etchings. Trigger. And... oh, they drew the Lightning Strike! They drew the Lightning Strike, but we didn't crack the fetch! We didn't crack the fetch! Oh, not cracking that fetch. Not cracking that fetch won us the game. If we had cracked that fetch, we totally would have lost. We would have lost. That was a real... so far the games in this format have been very interesting. That was a really... thank you for the game, Giggles. That was a really close game. That was a super, super close game. Please help me get cards from... please help me get cards from this restricted. My buddy says I can't do it alone, but the deck is silly. Let me take a look. Ooh. Belcher. I mean, Belcher is very powerful. This is This is a sweet take on Belcher. How has the Ragavan been? I never have thought of Ragavan as a Belcher card, but all right. So are we building? That does look sweet. Are we building Blood Moon? Is that where we're at? Hey, what's up, Mega Magikarp? Is there cheap reanimation spells and good reanimation targets for Timeless? Not really. Yeah, I don't know. Skewer the Critics does seem worth it, doesn't it? I would probably play it. Not sold on Faithless Looting. Yeah. I don't know. It's very good at stocking the graveyard. Maybe it'd be better as just more removal. Or maybe you play just a couple of them. I mean, Mono Red Prison is super easy to build. Here's how you build Mono Red Prison. Boom. So the thing is, do you think it's best to be mono red, or is it better to be? So I guess it depends on the direction we're going. So we know we're Blood Mooning. That's the whole purpose of this. A big part of the power of Blood Moon is playing it on turn 2. Yeah, it might just not be necessary. So the question is, do we go into a second color so we can ramp into Blood Moon more effectively? The other question is, are we trying to play sneak attack? Is this a sneak attack deck, or are we just building a prison deck? This is a very powerful format, especially if you're not used to playing against the cards. What is just prison? I think there's a chance this could be a Chalice of the Void format. If we're going to play Chalice, though, Swing for Zero, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup chip for you. Thank you. Is Chalice worth it in the main deck? So, okay, here's what I think would be a pretty competitive list is probably something like this. So, Lightning Bolts, Fable the Mirror Breaker, Seasoned Pyromancer, Ragavan, Chandra, 4-mana Chandra. Actually, you know what? Technically, it should be Karn. It feels dirty, but like this is the correct way to do it. Is Karn, play the Karn board, and then you can get the liquid metal coating to pick off any basics that slip through. We can probably still play like 2 Chandras. But I do think that Karn for liquid metal coating is going to be, and plus like Karn for liquid metal coating also offers some flexibility. What are some of the best hate cards we can put in our sideboard for Karn if we're going to be a Karn deck? So liquid metal coating, Pithing Needle, Chalice of the Void, the One Ring. Actually, the One Ring might actually just be better than Chandra. Is Chandra just outdated? Maybe Chandra. It hurts me. We're playing best of 3. It hurts me because I remember the original Mono Red Prison of Modern, Free Win Red. When we first made that deck, we got to play Koth. Oh, I loved it. Koth and Chandra together. It was so good. Sadly, Koth got power crept out of the format, and now I'm wondering if Chandra's also getting power crept by the One Ring. Oh, Haymire, how do we make green mana though? I think Wormcoil's a pretty good one of. Karn Silex. Karn Silex is probably pretty good. Tormod's Crypt. I mean, yeah, that's true. We are playing a fetch land format now, so it is pretty easy to like play some fetches and play a single Stomping Grounds to be able to like Haywire Might. Oh, I didn't add the worm. Oops. Yeah, we're gonna have to fill out the bottom end of our curve. That's gonna be the question. Stonebrain is a good one. We might need maybe Unlicensed Hearse. I kind of feel like we need more than one Graveyard Hate spell, and then we can play Brotherhood Ends. We've seen a decent amount of graveyard stuff actually. Brotherhood Ends is good. We probably need Unholy Heats somewhere. Unholy Heats. Mainboard the Chalices. Do you think Chalice is Chalice good in this format? I don't think we want to run Abash because we want to run Karn. I think Karn is actually very, very, very important to this. Ooh, defense. Ooh, Chandra Awaken Inferno. And those both seem interesting. Defense Grid. Well, I don't know if we care about our opponent. Do we want Defense Grid? It could make sure we resolve the Blood Moon in some matchups. Chandra also does something similar as a way to just fight through our opponent's disruption. Oh, Agent of Treachery. I think it's pretty likely that we play Agent of Treachery at some point. Yeah, the question is, do we... Yeah, we might trim back on the 3-drops a little bit. We might play 6. Yeah, let's just play Chandra. Big Chandra in the sideboard. Uncounterable Chandra. All right, so we got the sideboard set. How do we get the Blood Moon down on time? Is it Strike It Rich? Is it Skirk Prospector? Oh, maybe a land. What is the name? Treasure something? An artifact land, though. It's nice to have the option to tutor up a land from your sideboard. I think it's worth a slot. Treasure Vault. Let me just type that. Yeah, I think playing 1 Treasure Vault's probably good. Do we need Damping Sphere? I guess Storm is probably an archetype in this format. So we're playing Chalices in the main. Ooh, Chimmel is actually kind of spicy. Oh no. Oh no. Do we actually care about Control? We haven't played Control. So Blood Sun always disappoints me. Although it is good against fetches, and everyone is playing fetches right now. So it might actually be like kind of relevant, honestly. But yeah, I don't know why the One Ring is so impossible to find on Arena. All right. Something like this. So how do we Strike It Rich? Is Strike It Rich the best way to play Blood Moon on turn 2? That's the question. Goldhound can do it. Prospector can do it. I guess it's Strike It Rich. So yeah, if we go into another color, you can play like Utopia Sprawl, Deathrite Shaman or something. Ragavan does work with Mox Amber. We just don't have enough other stuff, I don't think, to make it work. Strike It Rich is so airy. I mean, I guess we can always discard it to Fables and Seasoned Pyromancers if we're playing them. And then we're going to play the Chalices. We'll try the Chalices. We'll try 3 main deck Chalices, how about? This would be the deck. This would be the deck. So the problem with Chalice is, if we're going to play Chalice, we got to minimize our 1-drops. We can't play Chalice and also have 16 1-drops in our deck. We just can't. It's the cardinal sin of building Mono Red Prison. You just can't do it. Like, if we're gonna play Chalice in the main, we gotta try to have, like, 0 1-drops. They're very close to 0 1-drops. Oh. Chalice on 2, yeah. Chalice on 2 doesn't hurt us at all. I don't know if it hurts our opponent at all, but it doesn't hurt us at all. No, I mean, if you have a... Are we against digital? We haven't really played against digital only cards. We saw 1 removal spell, but... Should we just try it like this? I mean, we can play some Shatter Skull Smashings. We can play a couple Valakut Awakenings. We can play Wooded Foothills. We'll play 1 Stomping Ground. Stomping Ground. Play 1 Stomping Ground. Yeah, we can trim, like, a couple. I'm just not sure on the Chalice. Like, I feel like if we want to play Chalice, we're going to have to do some meaningful rebuilding. That's the question. Is it worth... Yeah, it might be better just to cut the Chalices, or like we have 1 in the sideboard, so we can still Karn for it. I think that makes the most sense. I don't know if we can. I don't know if we can do everything we want to. Like, the problem is, we really want the Strike It Riches and Ragavans to ramp into the Blood Moons a turn early. I don't know if we can afford to give that up by playing Chalice. So maybe we just go with Chalice in the sideboard. So what we need, we have a couple more slots. Actually, I don't really like Ramunap Ruins. Everyone plays Ramunap Ruins in Mono Red Prison. I've never been a huge fan of it. All right, we have 3 slots. What are we adding, chat? What are we adding? I think Defiler's probably a little slow for this deck. It's not Mono Red Prison if there's no Chalices. I kind of want a 2-drop. Is there a good 2-drop? Abrade's fine. I'd probably just add more Unholy Heats. If you turn 2 Chalices, just 1 discard, the 1-drops to Fable. You know, we'll try it. We'll try it. I'm not sure the Chalice is actually worth it or even good in this format, but we'll give it a go. We'll give it a go. All right, let's try it like that. Oh, hang on. We'll give it a shot. We might end up cutting the Chalices, but we'll try it. We'll try the Chalices. We'll try the Chalices. Yeah, that's why I'm not sold on it. The idea that we can just discard them is nice, but I don't know if it's actually that realistic. We'll see. Maybe Chalice is the truth in this format. We'll give it a couple games. We'll give it a couple games with Chalice. I do think... I wonder if the best Blood Moon deck might be like 2 or 3 colors, honestly. Like, rather than being, hey, what's up, Cat Cam fan? How are you? Good to see ya. I wonder if like, maybe Jund or like Temur. Imagine just like, you know what? Let's play a couple games with this. I got an idea for Temur Blood Moon. I think we gotta look at the fetches. If we have the fetches to support it, I think we could build a really good 3-color Blood Moon deck that's actually like kind of busted. Well, all right, no Blood Moon in hand, but that's fine. We got Ragavan, we got Strike It Rich, we got Karn. Like, this is still a very good hand. Well, run out the Dirty Monkey, go. As far as non-gameplay video ideas, what do you think about ranking all the mechanics or keywords that Wizards uses to effectively print 2 cards on a single card? Ooh. Ooh, that's actually kind of spicy. Come on, we need this treasure opponent. No, leave the monkey alone. Caught down. Caught down. All right, well, we'll strike it rich. Play a wooded foothill, pass the turn. We just really want that. Really wanted that treasure so we could play something. Opponent. Wow, are they like storming? They might actually be storming here. That's actually a cool idea, CatCam fan. How would you frame it? What would those cards be called? Double-sided ranking? That is a sweet idea. When is a holiday stream? It's a good question. Probably next week, most likely. I'm not sure. I'm still. Ooh. Well, okay. I mean, I'm not above slamming a one ring here. Actually, is Karn better? Do we just Karn? Karn get the liquid metal coating? You know what? Let's Karn. Get the liquid metal coating. We came here to really annoy opponents and lock them out of the game. And Karn for liquid metal coating is a good. We did add liquid metal coating. Whew. I was afraid for a minute we forgot to add the liquid metal coating. So I think the holiday stream will probably be next week. Because I'm not sure, the week between Christmas and New Year's, got a bunch of extra stuff going on. We're doing a bunch of stuff ahead, so we might be like kind of off that week and not doing as much content stuff. So I think that might be kind of a slow week. So there might not be a stream that week. So I think holiday stream most likely next Tuesday, the 19th, I think. Well, opponent. Wait, what'd they play Cavern on? Cavern on Wizard? Okay. About it. Memory lapse. Obnoxious. Well, take down the Karn. This treasure vault's actually gonna be clutch. Play the treasure vault so we hit our land drop, pass the turn. About it. Land. Oh, they look so soft to Blood Moon. They look so soft to Blood Moon. Oh, they're just gonna counter all of our stuff. One ring. About it. It's okay. See, one ring gets an animation. Look at that. Look at that animation. Wow, Cycles Unearth. What is our opponent doing? About it. Do they have the counter the whole time and this is just the slow roll? They have the counter, they're trying to figure out if they counter this or save it for liquid metal coating? I don't know what our opponent's up to. Opponent decides to crack their fetch land. It's an Overgrown Tomb. Oh, that's not even a real fetch land. Okay, or not even a real counter spell. Well, we'll take up the Karn. Pass the turn.
Must be built.
Boo! Opponent. Island. Oko, Thief of Crowds.
I will invert the world to watch kings
Makes a
grovel,
boo.
and I think a little merriment is in order.
Well, opponent has found a lot of counters. I will give them credit for that. Lots of counters. Oh. Are they just going to keep countering our stuff? They tanked so long last time. How many can they possibly have? Also, Oko just elks whatever we play. So I think we actually start with Ugh, this is going very awkwardly. This is going so awkwardly. Just slam another One Ring. Alright. One Ring. What are they playing Unearth for? Must be like a Snapcaster? They have a Cavern on Wizard. They have every counter and spell in existence. I mean, I guess it has been all one of so far, hasn't it? Oh, we're gonna lose our Karn, though. Alright, well, draw with the One Ring. Play the land tapped. Tick up the Karn on the food. Pass the turn. Karn does kind of stop the Oko, doesn't it? It keeps the food from snowballing. Yeah, maybe this is it is all singleton so far, isn't it? So it probably is combo. Tainted Pack, Thassa's Oracle, Shenanigans. Oh, that's right, Thassa's Oracle. Oh, I hate that card. I forgot Thassa's Oracle is actually legal in this format. Found it. Going to Elgar One Ring. Yup, well, that's what Oko does. Well, maybe we can start eating. We do have a whole sideboard full of things. Wow. They draw their restricted demonic tutor. Well, that's actually probably bad. Where's our Blood Moons? Found it. Tutors up something. Passes. Well, we will take down Karn.
I will not stop.
Okay, how do we stop this? How do we stop this combo? We do have Pithing Needle. We haven't seen Nexus Reclamation. I built a Nexus Reclamation deck, but we haven't actually played against it yet or with it. What would they have tutored up? Another counter? Chalice on 2? Alright, well, play Chalice. Actually, let's see. Okay, here's what we do. So we take Chalice. We play Sokinzan. We play Liquid Metal Coating. We Liquid Metal Coating the blue source. So our opponent can't cast a counter. Float that mana. How about combat? And attack the Oko.
So it's a game you're interested in.
And we're gonna Chalice on 2. We're gonna do it. Tap them all. Stick the Chalice. Is Chalice gonna actually win us this game? Oh. What? Okay. Our opponent, Pact of Negations. Is our opponent punting this away? I mean, they have to pay 5, right? Or lose to the Pact. Is our opponent? But they still, well, I mean, I guess if they have Thoughts of Circle in hand, but they still can't win next turn, right? They could win in 2 turns. And I don't know if we could stop it unless we find a Blood Moon. But the problem is they have to pay for Pact. So they tutored up Pact. What a wild game. Opponent is aggressively exiling their deck. They have no fear. They have no fear. Maybe they're just going to try to set up and win in 2 turns. That's possible. Man, Blood Moon would have been so sweet. Alright, opponent. Exiling the deck. Yeah, stifling the trigger would actually be hilarious. Well, there's a Thassa's Oracle. I mean, it's pretty much just like Singleton Sultai good stuff control, with the hope being that you draw your Tainted Pact or Demonic Tutor to find Tainted Pact in combo. I am very curious how our opponents, they must just be planning on winning in 2 turns. All right, so opponent sticks with an Opt. Well, we got to find Blood Moon, basically. We got to find Blood Moon to stop the Thassa's Oracle. Opponent going to Elk the Liquid Metal Coating.
Gaze into my face and put on your true shape.
Is there anything in our sideboard that matters? So they win next turn with Thassa's Oracle. That's what they tried to set up, is winning in 2 turns. I don't think... Wait, how do I look at our sideboard? So Pithing Needle, no. Damping Sphere, no. Yeah, none of our artifacts do anything. Yeah, I think they have a Thoracle in hand. Well, let's Valakut Awakening, see if we can hit a Blood Moon. Put them both to the bottom. Blood Moon, Blood Moon, Blood Moon. Well, Dash Ragavan. Hit you. Kill the Oko. Steal a
I see how it is.
land. Yeah, they got it.
Allow
Wow. That Pact of Negation. About it. Thanks. Oh, Thassa's Oracle. Imagine that. Do you think that a Discover deck would work in Timeless? Also, do you think Modern is in danger because of Timeless? I don't think that Timeless is competing super directly. Yeah. We don't have a Stonebrain in the sideboard. We probably should. I don't think that that Timeless is... Couldn't we take out the Breeding Pool with card? Nah, they countered all of our stuff, and then Elkdar Liquid Metal Coating, unfortunately. No Torpor Orbs. There's Torpor Orb creatures, but no literal Torpor Orb. So I don't think that Timeless is really competing with Modern, because Wizards is not adding Modern, sadly, to Arena. I mean, they can't even barely sort of eventually add Pioneer to Arena. So I don't think Modern is coming to Arena anytime soon. So I don't think they're directly competing with each other. I guess in some sense, like, all formats compete with each other because we have a finite amount of time. So if you go and, like, play Commander with your friends, you're not playing Modern or Timeless or Standard during that time. So I guess, like, in that sense, they're kind of competing. I think that Timeless is mostly an Arena thing, though. I think it's most directly competing with Historic. Modern, boy, I don't know. I'm starting to feel like Modern's that, like, that relative that you love but you don't really like. I don't know. Modern makes me sad now. We'll definitely keep playing it, and I still, like, I do enjoy playing Modern, but I guess I'm looking forward to Modern Horizons 3. I'm ready for a shakeup. I feel like, did you see that Rakdos Scam won the big tournament over the weekend? Watsy. Should have been the grief. Trice. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup here. Thank you. Modern on Arena by 2027 is probable. What makes you think that, televangelist? I mean, that'd be sweet, but why do you think they would actually add Modern in a reasonable amount of time when they have not even been able to add... They haven't even been able to add a Pioneer in a reasonable amount of time. I have zero faith I have zero faith in that. It would be cool. I actually think that the like tournament pioneer / modern thing is kind of a cop out on WotC's part. Like, it's so funny because I think WotC has gotten a lesson that a lot of players aren't tournament players. So I think that WotC has gotten that lesson, but at the same time, they still act like that's not true in some cases. Because, like, if most players aren't tournament players, it would seem like competitive Pioneer is not something that would appeal to most players compared to, like, actual Pioneer. Or the same with Modern. Well, oh. Do we even Chalice on one? Does Chalice on one, it stops like a Duress. It stops like a Spell Pierce. It stops our Lightning Bolt. All right, well, here's this Chalice that I still am not sure should be in our deck, but here we go. Found it, Island, passes. We'll play a land and a Blood Moon. About it. All right, gonna seek 2 non-land cards. I don't think we want to put Chalice on 0 just because of the 1 Pact negation. That seems like not enough value. I'm glad we do the Season Pyromancer, so at least we can get rid of the Lightning Bolt in theory. So far, I've really been enjoying Timeless. It's been super fun. We'll see how it goes long term, because there are a lot of like really busted cards. So I am like, there's 2 things I'm afraid of with Timeless. I'm loving it right now though. Today has been so much fun playing this format. Here's the 2 things I'm afraid of. Thing I'm afraid of, number 1, is the format getting salved, and that would be sad. So I have a little fear that Karn? How about a Karn? Resolves. All right, we will take down the card. Yeah, I guess we do need Stonebrain in this sideboard, don't we? So one fear is it gets salved. That would be a bummer if the format ends up salved and like some miserable deck is the only deck in the format. That would be bad. The other thing that I'm scared of is WotC decides to do like Alchemy Masters or like Alchemy Horizons, and they just or I guess it would be Timeless Horizons, and just like do a full set of digital only cards specifically for Timeless. That would also make me scared, because the one thing I think right now is like, wow, Blood Moon. I think the one thing that I really like right now is the format's powerful enough that all those digital only cards that people are always complaining about, they just don't really see much play because they're not that good. Like, you see a couple around the fringes, but they're not like staples or anywhere close to that. If they ever printed like Timeless Masters and just did a full set of alchemy cards designed for it, that would change though. Just look at Modern Horizons. Like, if they ever did that, whew, that would be a little scary. Timeless Anthology would be cool. So let's say I could add more cards to this format. What would you add? I want Strip Mine. How about Strip Mine, WotC? Strip Mine. Unrestricted. Force, we might actually, and that's, I guess, one of the coolest parts of this format is now that we have this is like a reason for WotC to print a Force of Will in a like anthology. Could you imagine, okay, chat, would you buy Power 9 Anthology? Power 9, legal but restricted. Unrestricted Power 9 would break the format. I think it'd have to be restricted. Even restricted Power 9 would break the format. But wouldn't that be like an awesome way that they could take and like get some of these iconic Ovoke Elementals? No! Is there a Timeless Anthology? Have they announced a Timeless Anthology yet? You know they're gonna do it. Ooh, turn to Blood Moon. All right, we got no fear. We came here to Blood Moon, and Blood Moon we will. Opponent, Island. Playing an Island is the equivalent of cheating against the Blood Moon deck. You're supposed to be playing dual lands, opponent. Dual lands. Actually, this is kind of awkward. Actually, they can't have that many basics, right? Because it messes up their combo. So they just lucked into their singular island? That's a shame. That is a shame. Opponent plays a land passes. Well, we'll play a mountain. We will play a Blood Moon. Opponent Do you have a singleton counterspell? Opponent. Oh, they have it. Swan Song! I guess when you try to build a singleton deck, you get to the point where sometimes you got a Swan Song and hope for the best. Chimic 8, welcome to the Fishbowl. Ooh, Armageddon, that would be brutal. Stasis, we need stasis. Winter Orb stasis. Trinosphere. We don't have enough prison pieces, Watsy. We need some more good prison cards. Well, get in with a bird. I feel like this isn't going that well for us. I feel like it's going kind of sketchily. Not having that Stone Brain on the sideboard is a big whiff. Well, discard and discard. Make a couple dorks. Draw a couple cards. Strike it rich. Not doing much. Oh, alright. So opponent wins. Alright. Sure. I mean, we can scoop, right? We don't have to sit through this. They're just going to win. Smokestack would be fun. What do you think would break the format more? The Power 9 or the Elementals? I mean, the Elementals are more broken. Yeah, Pyroblast, Hydroblast would be really good additions. They're probably going to do it in Modern Horizons 3. I'm shocked that those cards haven't come to Modern yet. Those cards, I guess maybe it's just like they're too worried about red having a counter or something. Like the color pie break aspects of it, but I feel like that would be a really good addition to Modern. Yeah, Bowmasters is just a broken card. Paradoxical Outcome is on Arena. All right, let's try another match or two with this. We'll see. That's a weird matchup. So you take an Impact, exile your deck to play Thassa's Oracle. Good old Thoracle. We're not gonna play combo again that soon, are we? Oh, if we do, I'm gonna be sad. Yeah, we should have. I totally forgot about it in between games, but yeah, one Stone Brain in the sideboard does make sense. All right, well, here we go, Chalice. Let's see if these Chalices live up to the hype. I'm still not sure if we still might be cutting them. So Chalice, what would we grade Chalice in that last match? C? I mean, I guess it almost did something on that Pact of Negation game. Like, if it had resolved, it would have actually done something. So maybe it's a B. Bonnet, Swamp, Dark Ritual. Oh, God. Necro. Okay. Well, that's some good, clean, fair magic. Yeah, here they go. Here they go. Bonnet gonna draw some cards. Gonna keep going. Down to 14. Well, I mean, they're living the dream. Turn 1, Dark Ritual Necro. I imagine that Blood Moon not gonna do much against our opponent's deck. Well, I guess we just bolt the face since we're gonna play this Chalice. Boom, down to 11. Opponent refueling. Well, Chalice, it is up to you, Chalice. It is up to you. They gotta be playing Storm, right? Yeah, that's like literally the dream hand for our opponent. If you're playing those two cards in your deck, that's what you're hoping for. Are they just like a random mid-range deck that is... Are they just a random mid-range deck that is also Necroing? Well, Chalice on 1. After our opponent discarded 2 Fable the Mirror Breakers, my faith in Chalice is dropping significantly. Opponent passes. We draw an Unholy Heat. We pass the turn. About it. Cracks their fetch down to 10. I don't think there's... Prowess deck's really good. Prowess deck performed very well. I think that deck is actually legitimately one of the best decks in the format. Fable of the Mirror Breaker number 3. Goes back to drawing some cards. What a weird setup. Well, we drew a land finally, which is something. Still pretty late to this party. So we will play a Fable a turn too late as our opponent is going off with their Necro. What are some fun Stifle effects we could be playing? Ooh, you could probably build a Stifle deck, right? There's, I think, literal Stifle. You got Tishana's Tidebinder, Disallow. There's actually like several. There's several Stifle effects. Yeah, I guess it could be Death Shadow. Why the Dark Ritual, though? Like, is Dark Ritual worth playing? Just, like, you can't even Dark Ritual into most of the things in our opponent's deck. It's such a strange concept here. Like, you can't turn one Dark Rit out a Fable the Mirror Breaker. Well, I guess that's gonna do it. Yeah. Well, I gotta say, I think our worst case of Chalice is coming true. I think Chalice might just not be a main deckable card in this format, sadly. We'll give it one more match after this. I mean, yeah, that was our opponent like getting their absolute dream draw, but it seems like they're just playing Rakdos and trying to luck into Necro on turn 1. Yeah, if you have Necro though, but you can't play the other cards they're playing, like Fables, maybe Crucius. You can't Necro those out on turn 1. Very awkward. Yeah, Necro shuts down your Shieldreds. Necro is not restricted. The only restricted cards are Demonic Tutor, Tibalt's Trickery, and what's the third one? Demonic Tutor, Tibalt's Trickery. Oh, Channel, of course. Duh. Yeah, so Chalice is just like a very format dependent card. Very format and matchup dependent card. And I'm just not sure that this is a format where, especially considering how much we're hurting ourselves, I'm just not sure it's a format that really supports it. Ugh, I don't even know if this is a good Blood Moon matchup since they're Rakdos. They can probably function pretty well through a Blood Moon. So I think that might be the issue. Like, you need a specific purpose. You need a specific purpose to be playing Chalice. Menace, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup for you. Thank ya. I don't know if someone already asked this, but are fetch lands banned in Explorer? They are banned. Our opponent really is just playing Rakdos midrange. That's it. They're just Rakdos. That also randomly has Necro. Well, all right. Boom. What are Foothills? Yeah, so Chalice doesn't really do anything. Yeah, we're gonna build a new deck after this, I think. I don't think the Chalice plan is worth it. Off the Chalice plan. But yes, they are banned. They're banned in Pioneer, so they're also banned in Explorer. Do you think that cards from vintage metagames should be on Arena, like Workshop or Dredge cards? I mean, probably not. Well, it would have been sweet if we could play the One Ring. Well, boom. Get in there. Opponent takes the beats. I mean, do we even play the Blood Moon? Probably not. Let's just strike it rich so we can try to maybe get down this One Ring. I don't even know. Do you think Necro's even good? Like, in a world of the One Ring, isn't Necro worse than the One Ring? I think it probably is. What are your thoughts on Jeskai Ascendancy? Jeskai Ascendancy is a super cool card. Like, we've had some competitive Pioneer decks with Jeskai Ascendancy. We've even had in the past the pre power creep era. Well, here they go. Here they go. Dark Ritual. Are we getting stormed off, opponent? Are we gonna storm us? Tendrils? Are we gonna get Tendrils for 2? Oh, wait. Was this Dark Ritual without thinking through what we're doing with Dark Ritual? Oh, was this Dark Ritual? Okay. Miscounting for Kroxa. Well, that's unfortunate. We can play the One Ring, but it's not that great against Shieldred, sadly. Who is your favorite Magic Pro of all time and why? Ooh, that's a tough one. It might be Nassif. I really like Nassif. Nassif's just like a good dude. I like him as a person, and he's been involved in some of the most iconic Magic moments of all time, like the Ignite Memories, Cruel Ultimatum, Called Shot. There's a bunch. It's every time I'm like going through old Magic plays, I'm surprised at how many of the moments that Nassif has been involved in. It's just a lot. It's a lot. There's also Orcish Bowmasters. Jeez, all right, GG Rakdos, GG. All right, let's we gotta get rid of these chalices. These chalices are just horrible. The meme is sweet, but the actual in practice not getting there. A reminder, if you need some magical cards, you can get it from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. I would despise playing against him. My least favorite player is the one who takes 10,000 years to play a land. Seems like a great guy, though. Rather get an Ocean Thief wheeled. I mean, so I think the timing thing is a little different in pro tournaments, because you have a 60-minute clock, like, you know. So I think, like, I don't know. As long as you're not slow playing, I think it's fine. I think so I like Nassif now. I will also say LSV is someone who, like, as I started to make content in like that era of stuff, he was someone I definitely really looked up to content wise. Like the ability, there's so many great Magic players who are not really great at making Magic content. We saw that with the MPL. Like, the skills that make you really good at winning Magic tournaments, not necessarily the same skills that make you good at streaming Magic or making videos about Magic. LSV is one of the few people who I think is, like, actually really entertaining. And I just, like, enjoy watching, like, oh, what was the old series? Oh, I can't think of the name of it. It was on Channel Fireball with Humphrey, the plant, where they would do like top 10 lists. And I don't remember the name of the series, but I used to enjoy watching like those, just that stuff. LSV was one of the few people that like was legitimately great at Magic and also legitimately very entertaining. I can count on one hand the number of people who actually hit that mark. Timeless is likely to be very brutal format, very hard to print an alchemy card that would keep up with it. Oh, don't tempt them. We'd be doing Tarkir Limited at some point. Maybe. Is that something you're interested in? I mean, I don't think we're doing it today. But if people really want to see, yeah, Kibler's great. Newmont's great. There's a lot of really great, just great Magic content creators, that's for sure. So yeah, I don't think we're doing Tarkir Limited today, but I do think it could be something we do in the future if it's something people are interested in. Yeah, fetches for Historic Brawl are big. Fetches for Timeless are big. Let's, should we try Teamer? So I was trying to think, like, there's got to be a way, if we wanted to. Like, I think we could build a deck like this and also make it a Blood Moon deck. Like, it's got to be possible. We got fetch lands. The questions are, do we have the right colors of fetch lands? Like, how often are we going to be, like, wrecking ourselves? But I think it would be possible to build a deck like this. I think it'd be possible to build a deck like this that also has Blood Moon in it. So fetch lands. Let's see. Polluted Delta. It is. I mean, I'm not gonna complain because we just got the first 5, but I do kind of want the other 5 fetch lands now. The colors of the fetch lands do, especially when you're building Blood Moon decks, actually do play into it. I mean, all right. I mean, let's take this out for a spin and see if you want to add Blood Moon to it. Do you think Deathrite is better than Utopia Sprawl? Yeah, well, let's try it. Let's give Deathrite a try. Deathrite is very strong. Maybe Deathrite Delighted Halfling. Deathrite Delighted Halfling Ragavan. All right, let's try Temur. I mean, it dies. That's kind of the issue, right? It's kind of the issue with mana dorks these days is people kill them. People kill them. But if they don't die, is Death Shadow good now? I mean, it's better. Like, it's more functional. We haven't seen Death Shadow be a deck at all, really. On Arena without having access to fetch lands, but it certainly gets better with fetch lands. Air USW! You're still like, do you have the support pieces, I guess, is the question. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Mwahaha to you as well. Thank you for your subscription. Big scoops here for you. Thank you. Well, fetch land, go. What do we do with land tax? Is it possible to build a land tax deck? Jingatha. Well, they could be sacked. They could be like, is it? Sacred Foundry. Okay. Ragavan. Well, all right. Ragavan must die. Steam Vents. Untapped. Bolt the Monkey. Well, it could be Winota. That would also make sense. Bloodstained Mire, go. I think we just... Yeah, Winota's probably really good in this format, isn't it? Yes, no Street Wraith. Stubborn Denial's actually like kind of a big addition. Are they dashing Ragavan? Well, let's brainstorm. Put back Wooded Foothills Boseiju. Alright, well, opponent can hit us and steal our Boseiju, I guess. Alright, opponent picks up the Ragavan. Well, yeah, let's just draw. Wooded Foothills, Greg Wooded Foothills. Grab a forest. Play Tarmogoyf. And pass the turn. So our opponent might just be like a good stuff deck. Kind of looking like just five color good stuff. Yeah, you could build a deck that's pretty similar to Modern Judge. Is it modified cards are original in this format? Original. No rebalance cards in this format. Is anyone getting air updating data? Yeah, I mean that's just Arena. Usually with Arena, if you restart it, at least for me, if I restart it, it works the next time. But yeah, Arena's always gathering assets and updating data. Oh, they're a domain deck. I see. All right, so opponent is going to ley line binding. And dash Ragavan again. All right, so opponent's all about the dashing and the Ragavan. That much they have made clear. Well, we will brainstorm again. Oh, that's not great. That's not great at all. Well. Okay. Well, opponent, you can have our dig through time, I guess. Opponent gets in with the Dirty Monkey. Wow, he whiffed on lands. That's actually super brutal. Picks up the stupid monkey. Opponent passes. Expressive iteration, because we really need to hit lands. Awkward lands, but we did technically hit lands. Oh, that's so bad. Where's all of our fetches? Well, Breeding Pool in hand. Monkey bottom. Copperline Gorge to exile. Play the Copperline Gorge. This means we're just getting hit by this stupid monkey again. Seth, please ask Krim and the Codfather who their favorite Magic Pro is next week on the podcast. I'd love to hear their opinion. Been listening for 2 years now. Great content. Thanks. It gets me through some work days. Well, I'll try to remember. I'll try to remember to ask them their favorite Magic Pros. I would guess Krim, I actually don't have any idea. Richard, it might be Reed Duke, because Richard loves Jund, and Reed Duke has a lot of I play Jund for 3 hours videos. So it might be Reed Duke. Well, not looking great. Brainstorm. I mean, we've just gotten, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We've just gotten rolled by this monkey. I can't believe we've drawn no fetch lands. That's the weirdest part of this, is our inability to draw fetch lands like at all. Well, playing Uro to gain a couple life. Brainstorm's just so ineffective if you're not drawing fetch lands. And I feel like we've drawn like every non-fetch land in our deck here. No fetch lands, every non-fetch land. We still have a land drop. We could still hit Unholy Heat, I guess. Brainstorm. Still no fetches. Where's our fetches, Magic Gods? And now all these Mana Dorks looking pretty bad. Put them to the... Yeah, we're just dead. We're drawing Mana Dorks in the next 2 turns. Could Super Friends exist in Timeless? I mean, I think Super Friends... I guess it depends on what you mean by Super Friends. But I could definitely imagine, like, Oko, Minsc, Boo, like, jam them together, maybe a Narset or something like that. So if that counts as Super Friends, I can imagine that working. That would probably be pretty good. As far as like 25 Planeswalkers or something, probably not. So bad at drawing fetches. Unholy Heat, definitely. I consider Unholy Heat to be a color pie break, but oh, Watsy, I don't know. Does the color pie even exist anymore? Does it even exist? I'm not sure the color pie even exists. I'm starting to think that it just doesn't, but it's done. There is no such thing as the color pie. Up is down, left is right. Colors don't matter. I honestly think, I think Commander killed the color pie. I think it did. I think Commander killed the color pie. Well, we got our Mana Dorks in our hand this time, and we have a Dirty Monkey. So we're getting near the end of the year, chat. What do you think about, so it's what? We're going to be heading into 2024. Let's say 2030. That's pretty far in the future. After seeing Hasbro laying off all their people and so forth, maybe that's too far in the future to think realistically. What do you think Magic will look like 6 years? Let's go 6 years from now, 2030. Do you think Commander will still be the most played format? Do you think, will Commander just continue to go up in popularity? Is there a chance another format emerges? Could it ever shift back towards more competitive play. Could that be a possibility? I'm very curious. It's such an interesting time in the world of Magic. Sad News Bears for the 47th month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Alchemy, the most played format. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, we're going to take a Steam Vents. And we are going to rip off our opponent here. Dash a monkey. Hit you with the monkey. Make a treasure. Steal a lightning bolt. Do we even want to cast the lightning bolt? We can. I think we actually just exile the land. Oh, that's right. That's right. So good. Make a green mana. Play a delighted halfling. And yeah, we'll just let the bolt go away, so that's fine. Pick up the monkey. Pass the turn. I mean, competitive Magic will get bigger, but not by much. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super chat for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank ya. I've been watching since Rhinos. Often to see you going strong. Wow, Rhinos was forever ago. 20 months. Thank you so much. So, okay, wait. So what's the consensus then? Commander just keeps going up? I wonder if Chris Cox could get fired. Like, isn't that how it goes with CEOs? Like, if you go to your quarterly things, this is why everything's such a mess and it's so short-sighted. But isn't that kind of how it goes? Like, if you're just going like, hey, we're losing tons of money quarter after quarter, we're gonna have to lay off a ton of people. There's got to be a point where that comes to the CEO, right? Like, there has to be a point. I wonder if I wonder how much we should blame Cox in specific. Are Cox the problem? We're devolving into a South Park episode here. But really, like, I wonder how much he is to blame. I wonder how much he's to blame. I wonder how much is just like desperation. Yeah, let's brainstorm. Like, I wonder how much of it's like things are going poorly, so we gotta just do what we gotta do here. Now, bottom. Windswept Heath. Crack Windswept Heath. Shuffle. Grab a Stomping Grounds. Untapped. Play a mini Tarmogoyf. And pass the turn. CEO is not to blame, not how it works. Layoffs of a cyclical market determined process that affect all large corporations. But I mean, about it. But I mean, they're losing money though. Like that's the thing. Like at some point, don't the decisions have to rest with the CEO and the leader? I would assume there has to be a point where like the buck stops here type of thing. They're cutting my protected creature. Oh, so good. Opponent gets it. It says. Okay, but so back to 2026 or 2030 Magic. Here's a maybe even bigger question. A question that I don't even know if people want to think about. This came up in my head again today with the big layoffs at Hasbro. It popped into my head again. Will in-universe sets exist? Oh, can we do this all? Wait, is there a way we can? So if we dash Ragavan, oh, this is cute. So we get to dash Ragavan. Get in, hit you with the monkey. Steal the Kavu we put on top of your deck with our memory lapse. Play the Kavu. And still have a lightning bolt if we need it. Pick the monkey back up past the turn. So do you think that Hasbro doing poorly decreases the chances of there being in-universe sets? Because I think there's actually like kind of a... it could be related, right? Like, let's say that Hasbro's like, we really got to cut a bunch of people again. Merry Christmas, staff who have worked here for years. But let's say we need to cut more people. Who would you cut at WotC? Like, let's say the worst comes to worst, and they actually had to cut a meaningful amount of people from Wizards, not from the rest of Hasbro. One way you could theoretically do that would be like, we're gonna get rid of the people who write the stories and like build the worlds, and we'll just like do more Universes Beyond stuff. So I feel like I could see a CEO's brain working that way. Like, yeah, what do we need this lore for? Lord of the Rings sold great. Why do we need to be writing our own stories? So that part's a little scary. I think they did cut back on some of their like translators, or I know they shut down like WPN in South America. So yeah, there has been some instances of places outside North America already being cut back. Wait, what are we talking about? Stock prices? I mean, Hasbro stock. I actually, at one point, I was thinking, like, I should buy some Hasbro stock. Oh boy, that would be the worst plan. It's actually kind of ridiculous. I mean, I guess it's recovered a little bit. It's recovered a little bit from its low, but look at the like, Hasbro, 120. Boom. So this is when like everything crashed during the pandemic down to 46, but WotC's right back there. They're back at like literally the worst day of the pandemic crash. That's what their actual price is now, or very close to that. That's not great. That's not great. Question to the community. Anyone else having an error when starting MTD since their Tarkir patch? So it worked fine for me. Hands chat. Did anyone have issues updating today after the patch? I know Arena, it does have a history of getting a little wonky when it's patch time. That is a thing that it's happened before. Where but today actually Arena's worked pretty well for me. How is Timeless so far? So far, I've been really enjoying Timeless. It seems super fun. I think we Unholy Heat here while we can. Do we just take a Mountain? Stomping Grounds? We have an Oko. Let's take Stomping Grounds. Yeah, Stomping Grounds, untapped. Get rid of this Nikadal. Opponent untaps. Windswept Teeth cracks it. Yeah, this is a good hand. I like that we have a lot of removal. A little bit of card draw. Says error updating data. Check your connection and try again. Interesting. Have you seen the Ravnik remastered reprints? So I saw yesterday's. I think more have come out today. The big issue, I wonder. Oh, it's only a 3/3? Oh, that's actually really good for us. Okay, so we can Lightning Bolt the Kavu. Play this, crack this, shock ourselves. We are kind of fetching ourselves to death. Breeding Pool, untapped. Down to 14, all self-inflicted. Delighted Halfling. We got Oko and Minskin in hand. So the Ravnik remastered. Ugh. Alright, not great. Opponent's going aggro. Well, okay. I think Layla would be better. Better as an elk, perhaps. No attacks. Opponent. So I can't quite kill the Oko, which is nice, at least by itself. And then in theory, we can Minskin Boo. So I gotta see, I wonder if there's a way. So if we go, okay, we can look up the 3 Ravnica blocks on Scryfall. So the big issue I see with the big issue I see is if you go to all the Ravnica blocks, the big issue is there's just not that many expensive cards. Like, so I think that's some of the weirdness, like Cyclonic Rift being upgraded to Mythic. Like, this is all the Ravnica blocks sorted by price on Scryfall. Like, this is 9 sets. OG Ravnica 3 sets, Return of Ravnica 3 sets. Actually, maybe Guilds of Ravnica was 2 sets, but still 8 sets worth of cards. If you go through all of this, like, Doubling Season is what, 40 bucks now? 40 bucks since it's been reprinted a bunch. Cyclonic Rift, 30-ish bucks. Gets reprinted all the time. That's the second most expensive card. And then you're really down like pretty quickly to fetch lands that are in the like $10, $15 range. It's actually kind of wild. So I think a lot of the weird choices are basically just out of necessity. Just like not like what else are you gonna do? You would need 20 mythics for a set. So I'm glad we're getting more reprints though. I never complain about reprints.
So alive.
Yeah, I mean that is true. There are a few like Jumpstart or Commander Precon cards, although a huge percentage of the cards come from those blocks. But yeah, you are right. Like Burvac, for example, is from Jumpstart originally, but it's a Ravnica card, so it still qualifies. I mean, the other thing I saw, I don't know if this is true. Are they dropping Seb McKinnon art? I just saw a thing, I didn't research into this. I just saw people talking about it on Twitter that like apparently art that Seb had done for unlicenser, sure. Art that Seb had done for Ravnica sets were being replaced. Or was it Ravnica or was it Khans of Tarkir? Did they actually officially drop him? Interesting. Seb made a lot of my favorite art in the last few years. How do we do this? So I have a hearse, which is annoying. So I guess we do it this way. We Steam Vents untapped. We make a food.
Welcome to the feast.
We play Minsk and Boo. Make a hamster.
I've got one butt kicking foot, so
Put counters on the hamster. And pass the turn. Alright, opponent. Let's see what you got. Minsk and Boo is, I think Minsk and Boo is like sneakily one of the strongest cards in this format. Minsk and Boo is so good. The rebalance version is much worse, but Minsk and Boo in its actual form at 4 mana is a wild card. It is such a strong planeswalker. We kind of need a Comet. We need Comet. Space Bellerin. Where's Space Bellerin? Yeah, 4 mana, it might... Oh, wow. That's actually brutal. Holy. Hidetsugu consumes all. That was actually super obnoxious. Opponent gonna go face. Have you not read Minsk and Boo? There's no way you attack face here. Alright. Okay, sure. Like, I prefer you attack face. Wow. Wow. Okay. Wow, wee wah. Opponent hits us for 4, but that means we get to hamster again. That was a really good Hidetsugu consumes all. 3 for 0. No initiative cards on Arena, I don't believe. Hooting Mandrills. What? Okay. Well, opponent passes. We make a hamster. We draw a Deathrite Shaman.
Go big.
We expressive iteration. How do we avoid death here? That's becoming an actual concern. And we'll take memory lapse for hand. Get rid of the halfling. Polluted Delta and exile. Play the polluted Delta. Counters on the Minskimbu.
Magic? We have mastered.
Elk the Hooting Mandrills.
Surely you see the humor here.
Play a Death Ray Shaman. And pass the turn. Opponent. Exiles. We're gonna lose to that Hidetsugu Consumes All. That's actually gonna get us. Oh boy. I think my Seb McKinnon question might have derailed Chad a bit. So, are you going to be buying Ravnica Remastered? I'm curious what so as far as I can tell, looking at Ravnica Remastered, opponent, gonna go to combat. Attacks. Well, we will block and block. Opponent plays a land. Tribal Flames! No! Oh, I think that means we're dead. Oh, that Hidetsugu Consumes All actually got us. That is not a card that I expected to see anyone playing, but wow, they shuffled it away. Alright. Well, opponent should have left that on top of their deck. They chose not to. They get Jengatha. We make a hamster. We draw Brainstorm. Well, we cast the Brainstorm. This would be a wild comeback. So we have a Lightning Bolt. We can play Uro to gain some life. So put back Unholy Heat and a Braid. We'll draw the Unholy Heat. We will put counters on the hamster. Make a food.
We are down.
Uro. We might actually come back here. So we gain a little life. Up to 7. We can bolt something past the turn. Opponent. This Minskimbu might be carrying. It might be carrying. Opponent. Draws another Hidetsugu Consumes All off the top. Alright, so getting a little ridiculous. Opponent gonna go attacking. So we need to bolt the Hooting Mandrills. Come on now, opponent. Well, we will make a hamster. We will draw on a Braid. We will put counters that we will stop drawing for one turn. Hidetsugu Consumes Alls. We will get back this Uro while we can before our graveyard gets sniped. Gain a little bit of life. Draw a card. Okay, I think we might be good. We're back up to 6. Can we beat a Hidetsugu Consumes All? Is it actually? This has been a wild game. Yeah, Hidetsugu Consumes All is really impressing me. Like, maybe this card's a lot better than I thought. Ragavan. With Dash, the nimblest of pilferers. Opponent still going face. Well, we will block here. Oh, this is a blowout. Block. Kill. Oh, this is bad news, opponent. This is bad news. And we got back in it somehow. Hasbro could make so much money if they introduced a more social features to Arena, added Commander, and allowed people to make public groups where they could play, view games. Crazy how few social features it has. It really is. Like, and honestly, it's gotten worse. Like, the big issue, yeah, Teamer Power, that was an impressive win. The big issue, the big Minskaboo is, it's absurd. It really is sneakily one of the best cards on Arena that no one knows about because it was always banned. I will update the deck command now. I'll export it. It's gotten worse because, remember, we're going to do viewer battle stream. Yeah, we've been playing best of 3. There's both options. You can play best of 3 or best of 1. So we were going to do a viewer battle stream last week, and we had to cancel it because challenging your friends is broken. You can't even do a friendly game with your friend most of the time. It works on occasion, but it's like 50-50 or something that'll actually work. So you can't even really consistently challenge your friends. So yeah, there's certainly a lot of untapped Arena potential. I'm thankful for the steps Wizards has made. Like, there are good steps. Adding Timeless is a good step. Getting the Pioneer is a good step. So there is progress, but yeah, it's wild that Commander is so popular and there's not really a good way to play it online. You have Moto, but Moto has its own set of issues. And Moto is actually Moto's gotten way better since Daybreak Games took over. That's been an improvement. However, there is issues with card availability. It blows my mind. This actually makes me kind of sad. So apparently, this is wild. So when they added Warhammer, they made the Warhammer crossover set. The Warhammer cards, just like top-aided in Legacy, apparently WotC, when they did their contract with whoever makes Warhammer, didn't include Magic Online. So now there's like Legacy staples, or cards that showed up on Eternal Weekend this past weekend, that people can't play without Magic Online because they didn't actually make a contract that allows them to put it on Magic Online. And I know, like, some people are like, well, like, is it really WotC's fault? It could be, the people who make Warhammer's fault, but I think it's WotC's responsibility, right? Like, if you're gonna do a crossover, I would assume that step one would be like, okay, we want to do this crossover. Can we put it everywhere we need to put it? Like, can we play this on Magic Arena? Can we play this on Magic Online? And if the other company is like, no, then you're just like, okay, thank you. Like, we thought we'd ask. It was nice of you to let us know. That sound looks pretty reasonable. So what card showed up at Eternal Weekend? Can we keep this? Yeah. This can't get Stomping Ground is the problem. I think it's still okay. Like, this is theoretically turn to Oko, which is kinda ridiculous. Warda Bob, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super, thank you. Oh, Ragavan. Okay, that's awkward. Well, I guess in that case, this feels so bad. Our fetches are lining up so badly. Okay, we just take Steam Vents. We don't want to get hit by the monkey, so we'll take Steam Vents. We'll kill the stupid monkey. Worst case, we have Expressive Iteration to dig for lands. Best case, we just draw a fetch and play a Goy for something. Channel our inner Richard. Or Brainstorm. Brainstorm's not bad. Well, let's Brainstorm to see if we can hit a land. Wow. Okay, that is the awkwardest. Yeah. Okay. We're not an Is It deck opponent, no matter how it looks. Polluted Delta Fur about it. If they have a counter here, this could go poorly. So the big card at Eternal Weekend. Uh-oh. What happened to my deck list? Is St. Catherine or something like that? Well, all right. Expressive iteration. Oh, daggers. That's actually game if they counter this. Oh, what a brutal way for this to go. Brutality. Brutality. Expressive iteration. Huh, lands. They exist. There are lands in our deck. They're coming way too late to actually be helpful, but there are lands. Well, all right. We're doing the thing. A few turns later than necessary, but we are playing Magic cards. Unfortunately, our opponent already going off with an Oko. All right, let's try this again to pull up this deck list. There we go. Triumph of St. Catherine. So this is one that won the Legacy event, and it's apparently $70 for 3 copies. That's an expensive card. 5 mana 5/5 lifelink. When it dies, you exile top 6 cards of your library face down. If you do, shuffle that pile, put it back on top of your library, and then you can miracle it for 2. So people are playing it alongside Up a Beanstalk in Legacy. Is a 5 mana thing that's actually kind of 2 mana if you miracle it to keep the engine going. So that's one that's like, we'll see where it lines up. Does that actually end up a Legacy staple? Was this a one-off tournament win with this like kind of unique-ish deck? But still, it's awkward that that card is not in existence digitally. All right, sure. Sure. Opponent has an Oko on 7. It's a much bigger Oko than I was hoping for. Well, let's play a 5/6 Tarmogoyf. And then also a Deathrite Shaman. And pass the turn. I mean, they're probably going to Elk the Goyf, but that's fine. Birds! 30 months. It has been so long. Thank you so much, Birds. Welcome back to the Fishbowl. Thank you. Yeah, Elk's the Goyf. Oko's such a strong card. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you. Opponent also going to Deathrite Shaman. And a Delver. Okay. And a land. And opponent gonna pass. I'll go to combat. Attack the Oko. Opponent's gonna block. What are we most concerned about? I guess we play the Uro. One, two, three. Play Uro. Draw a card, gain some life. Yeah, Universes Within problems would at least help. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Do we have to kill the Deathrite? I don't think we lose to the Delver. I mean, I guess we could also just escape the Uro real quick and let the Deathrite live for a turn. That might be fine. So if we grab a Forest... Yeah, I think this also works. So we exile a fetch. We can let it live for one more turn. Add blue. And then Uro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, get back the Uro. And all right, so opponents going had the same choice. They both are Deathrite Shaman, but we get an Uro. It sticks around to be Elked. And back up to 70 past the turn. Wow, we were like falling behind, but we have caught back up pretty well. Yeah, at least it's a 3-3 if it gets out. Opponent, Ragavan. We have another one, so that kind of somewhat gets around the Elking. Like, the problem is we just got to play through this Oko. We don't really have a way to deal with the Oko, so our only option is just kind of try to play through it, I guess. Not great, but what else are we going to do? It's got 9, it's got so much loyalty. It's got 9 loyalty. We need our entire, almost our entire deck of bolts to actually kill it. Yeah, Uro's still, it's still worth it. Well, let's see. Let's bolt the Death Ray. If our opponent's gonna bolt our Death Ray, we gotta bolt theirs. Yeah, wait for Omnath could be sweet. All right, they're gonna gain some life. Well, we will go to combat. Attack the Oko. Opponent takes it. Play a delighted halfling. Play the tap land. Pass the turn. Leon Stew! How are you, Leon Stew? Welcome back to the Fishbowl for the 52nd month. Thank you for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, opponent. Beaten down with the insects. I mean, we will block the Ragavan. We're not going to let our opponent get the Ragavan attack in. Any chance Boomer S. Jun can be decent since we're only missing Bob from the old DRS days? We get Minsk and Kroxa, though. I think it'd be worth trying at least. I think that'd be a fun deck to try. Just build straight up Boomer Jun. We pretty much have all the pieces. You know, maybe we just have to ignore... Yeah, we're never going to kill the Oko, so I guess we just need to attack our opponent and try to kill our opponent. Uro. Draw a card. Gain some life. Sure, opponent brainstorms. Yeah, Bob, I don't even know if Bob is that... Honestly, Orcish Bowmaster might be the best replacement, but in a world of Orcish Bowmaster, I don't even know if Bob is that good anymore. So we play the fetch. Play another delighted halfling. We need a Minskin Boo. We have not found a Minskin Boo. That's what we're really missing here. Also, maybe a real Oko. Our opponents had the Oko. They thought seized our Oko. Opponent's going like very greed on colors. Hey, what's up, Daniel? How are you? It's been a minute. Good to see ya. Are you excited for the new Oko and the Cowboys set? The question is, how bad is it gonna be? Does WotC overreact? Do they overreact and make like a really bad version because the first version was so busted? The Oldred. Well, yeah, that's got to get memory lapsed. About it. Attacks. Well, all right. We need a big draw. We need a big draw. Crack the wooded foothills. Thin the deck. Take a breeding pool tapped. More breeding pools. I'll go to combat. Attack our opponent. We've drawn so many delighted halflings. All right, Uro returns. We need to draw something. Somehow we have like so many more lands than our opponent. Death Ray. I don't even think we put the lands into play anymore. Play the Death Ray. Pass the turn. But Sheoldred's coming. Found it. Sheoldred. Oko. I mean, this is a great example of why Oko had to be banned.
I invite you.
Like, our opponent played an Oko on, like, turn 3, and it is just... It is just stuck out and dominated this entire game. Literally the whole game. And it feels like you can just never get through it. Like, you can never get through. Oh, boy. All right. That doesn't technically draw. One dig through time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Why is it highlighting our lands? Oh, thank goodness. Okay. All right. 1, we need to have these for colorless. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Dig through time. 7 cards deep. We find a Minskimbu. Is that even enough? Does that even matter here? There's our Minskimbus finally. They're so late. Yeah, it might just be too late. Yeah, Oko's definitely a messed up card. I do think this is a good Blood Moon format. It's pretty it is matchup dependent. You run into some people that are playing like Mono Red or whatever, but then you run into a lot of really greedy people that are just straight up dead to a Blood Moon. The question is how best to build a Blood Moon deck. That's kind of the big question. Well, I guess we'll take every delighted halfling. So we can shock ourselves to play the Minskimbu, but then we tap this. And we go to 9, and there's a Shieldred. So, I mean, I guess we just have to play a Delighted Halfling and a tap land and pass the turn. Yes, Oko. Unbeatable. Yeah, Chalice. So we played a Chalice deck earlier. Chalice, it feels pretty sketch overall. I think it maybe could be a decent sideboard card. I think at worst it's probably a piece of like the Karn board or whatever. But, all right, Poe's just going to get in for 3. Yeah, we get smacked. Down to 8. Oh, I didn't activate Deathray. Oops. A Tuara. Well, okay. Minskimbu. Make a hamster.
Boo and I are ready to rumble.
Yes, please. Put counters on the hamster.
We have mastered.
And
Big or
pass
actually
the
go big,
turn.
just go big.
We might have a shot. We might have a shot here because of the Satuara. So we don't die right now. Opponent goes to 11. Hitting the hamster doesn't do much. Missing that Deathray activation is annoying. Pound it, thank you, Cowin. So we're going to trade their food for our Deathray. So we will make green mana, exile a creature to gain 2. Go up to 8.
What's mine is yours, and yours is mine.
Oko all the way down to 7. Put in place another Delver. Goes to combat. Attacks our face. Sure. Down to 5. Well, okay. 1, 2, 3. Legendary Elk. 1, 2, 3. So we can Tuara the Shieldred. Pick him up, pick him up. Is it enough? Will it be enough? And opponent scoops it up! Wow! Wow, 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 wow. That was... I mean, I will say... So, chat, what do you think about this? What do you think about the games we've played today? I feel like so yes, there's been some like combo-y games. We played against like the Tainted Pack deck or whatever, but I feel like we've played some really interesting games with this deck. Like it might be that, you know, the Mr. Burns goes to the doctor thing where you got all these busted cards and they all even each other out and you remain healthy. I'm wondering if that's what's happening, because I feel like these have been some very just overall really interesting games. I don't know. Have they been interesting from your perspective? Because you would think like all these ban cards that were like too good for every format would lead to like really bad games, maybe. But I feel like the opposite actually has happened, and it's led to like really intriguing, exciting, good games somehow. There is a lot of Oko. Yeah, that's the other thing. If you look at the list, do I still have the list pulled up? What do you think will end up? What do you think will end up on the restricted list? If I was to place my bets, so these are the cards. So 3 of them already. That sounds pretty good. Goyf in 2023. Time for Goyf to prove its worth. Bounty. Delver of Secrets. Lightning Bolt it. So if you look at this list of cards, which of these cards do I think could actually get restricted? Considering right now, the bar for restriction is Channel Demonic Tutor Tibalt's Trickery. Cards that I think like Intruder Alarm, like 0 chance. I think it's ridiculous. And also, you know what I will say? I think, remember when they banned... Ooh. Do we just keep killing Delvers? Remember when they banned all the enchanting tails and it was very weird and awkward? And everyone's like, why are they banning Spreading Seas? Why are they banning Intruder Alarm? Why are they banning Land Tax? I wonder if those bannings were made with this in mind. And WotC knew they were going to be announcing this format. We obviously didn't know they'd be announcing this format, but I wonder if that played into it. Well, let's play Goyf. So, cards that I actually think could realistically end up restricted. I think... Yeah, I can't do anything about that. Unfortunate. So cards that could realistically be restricted. I think Field of the Dead, we haven't seen it, but I think Field of the Dead is probably actually... Oh, no, we played against it once. We Blood Mooned the Field of the Dead player. I think Natural Order, Field of the Dead, Nexus, Oko, Uro, Ragavan. Those would probably be my top 6 that I think... And I think even those, there's a lot of variance. Like... I think if I was just going to pick the 1 or 2 most likely, I think Oko, there's a decent chance, could end up needing to be restricted. Uro, probably in a Fetchland world, is going to be very prevalent as well. I guess there's also a risk that you have, like, one deck that breaks the format. Like, what if you end up with a Storm deck that breaks the format? I guess that's the thing that could happen. You could end up in a world where... like, maybe Dark Ritual has to be restricted because someone cracks Storm and it's just like tier 0 or something. Or same with Necro. Maybe someone like figures out a Storm deck with Necro that's just better than everything else going on. But I still think the Oko Uro... I don't know if Nexus is good in this format, honestly. We haven't seen Nexus be format warping in Modern, right? And we have counter spells, we have Archmage's Charms, we have a lot of really solid pieces of interaction. So I'm starting to think that maybe... do we just slam this? I'm starting to think that maybe it'll be okay. Maybe there's enough hate cards for Nexus that it won't actually be a problem. Yeah, like, it might just be too slow, especially when you consider, yeah, the super aggro decks, treasure cruises, delve spells. When you add all that stuff together, like, maybe you just can't dirtle around to the extent that you need to make Nexus work. Fetches is out. Fetches are here. We haven't drawn any of this game, sadly, because we'd love to brainstorm them away. But yes, fetches are live. Force of Will. I hope they add Force of Will. I think they will. I think they will
Welcome to the
eventually.
feast.
Hell, Oko versus Oko. This again. At least this game we also have an Oko. That's a little fairer. Still kind of want to fetch land. I would like to shuffle away these. Well, there's a fetch land. That's good. That's very good. Well, let's brainstorm. See what we see. So put back land and do we even want to shuffle anymore? Maybe we don't shuffle now. Let's put back land and land. Draw the fetch first. Play Uro. Draw the fetch. Put it into play. Bracket. Shuffle away the stomping grounds to play Delighted Halfling. And yeah, I mean, I guess we just elk the food.
Gaze into my face and put on
And
your true
yeah, hit the Oko, I guess. Attempt to.
You're a tricksy one.
Yeah, Force of Will, I think they'll add. I would like to see, now that they have this vintage format, embrace it. Like, make it, like, add more legacy stuff. Do anthologies adding legacy stuff, vintage stuff. I think that'd be really cool. I don't know if I want to go as far as having, like, full-on vintage decks or whatever. That might be a bit much, but I think that overall, that is the technique I would like to see Wizards take with
Hostile to
this.
the truth.
Yeah, Storm has been tough. I've gotten some, like, wins with Storm. Full vintage would be cool. What I don't really want to see is, like, a vintage deck competing against the rest of the decks in the format. Vintage, like, again, you have the super high power level, so it all evens itself out a bit. Are they casting another expressive iteration? My opponent cracks. I mean, we can get our Uro down next turn. Wow. Sad brainstorm. Sure. Sure. I am terrified of seeing Workshop or Bazaar on the other side of the table. Yeah. I mean, I will say, I wasn't sure how they'd handle Delve, but it seems to be functional. I always wonder when it comes to... Yeah, we'll have to do some vintage cubing at some point here. Oh, so close to killing an Oko. I guess we can just kill it naturally. All right, so go to combat. Hit the Oko. I think it is worth trying to kill. Hit the Oko.
So it's a game you're interested in.
Get back our Uro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, no. Unholy Heat the Oko. Let's do this first. They could have Spell Pierce. We gotta do it this way because they could have Spell Pierce. If we tap out for Uro and then they Spell Pierce this, we're very sad. Because then they just elk our Uro again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Uro returns. And now we're on the winning side of the Oko battle. I've really been loving Timeless so far. It's been super fun. Yeah, I'm sure we'll do some vintage cubing. Maybe next stream. Maybe for a holiday stream, we do some vintage cubing. Our holiday tradition. Opponent, fatal push. Sure. I mean, our opponent is not giving up. Sadly. Sadly, we were hoping that they would have given up by now, but they are not. They're fighting the good fight, and it's kind of working. Plus, I'm sure they have more Okos. Opponent gets it and hits our Oko.
You are fouler than a fiend.
Down to 3. Lightning Bolt to get rid of the Oko. All right, the Okos have been cleared. Now let us let us dash a Ragavan. Step 1. Get in there. It is kind of cool just to see all these super busted spells being slung. Brainstorms into Ragavans, into Okos, into Uros. It's kind of sweet to just know that they exist. Dig Through Time is not restricted. I just didn't want to play more than one of them because we already have Uro taxing our graveyard. So because we're an Uro deck, it's hard to play too many of the delve spells. I think in some sense, that was a good one. That was a very interesting match. If this is how the mid-range wars are in this format, it's actually going to be very entertaining. Just like if you've never, I would encourage you, and I know it's a lot of wild cards. If you've never played Legacy before, give this format a shot, because I will promise you, you will get addicted to Brainstorm with fetch lands. Just like the play pattern of Brainstorm with fetch lands is there's so much that goes into it. It's so much fun. Your hand is always going to have like action going on, and it's very, very skill testing. Like there's so many little things, like games in this format, and that's what I love about Legacy. That's why I'm so excited about this format. Yes, you can play Lures as your companion. I'm getting these Legacy vibes, and Legacy is just so much fun because Legacy is the format where cracking your fetch at the wrong time is the difference between winning and losing. Getting the wrong land with your fetch is the difference between winning and losing. So you have a lot of this. You always have action, and you have these very like intricate decisions. And Timeless is as close as I have gotten to that on Arena. So that's why I'm so excited for it. Like, it's not literally Legacy, but it's giving me that same feeling of like, you know how every time I do a Legacy video, I'm like, I want to do more Legacy videos because it's just like, I really am having fun playing this format. I'm getting that kind of vibe right now at Timeless. So I'm really excited that there's this format on Arena that does that same thing. If you don't like that play pattern, then this probably isn't the format for you. If you don't like Brainstorm formats, I do enjoy Brainstorm formats. If you don't enjoy Brainstorm formats, then that's another story. Don't spend your wild cards on Timeless if you're not a fan of Brainstorm formats. I feel your optimistic opinion of Timeless was needed in this week's podcast. I know, it was just unfortunate timing. I haven't actually listened to the podcast yet, so I don't know what Richard and Krim said, actually. I've heard little bits and pieces that you all have told me. It was just unfortunate timing that my electricity went out for 3 hours, like right when we were about to record the cast. So I was thinking about this earlier. I think I've only missed like maybe 2 podcasts out of 460 some episodes. So it's very rare that I miss a podcast. But this one, there was just like, there's nothing I could do. The power went down for the whole town I live in for like 3 hours. So it was just unfortunate timing. But at least you got to hear my optimistic take on Timeless here, because I don't know, I'm having fun so far. And there's going to be more coming. So if you like this, there'll definitely be some Timeless stuff. Checking out these unbanned cards. This is a perfect opportunity to teach some Arena Zoomers some lessons. So expect that over the holiday season. Since we have all these iconic old cards, lots of things we can teach this new generation about. Maybe some natural orders, some blood moons. I don't know, I'll figure it out. But yeah, definitely expect some more Timeless Sneak Attack. I do want to try to build Sneak Attack. So is there a Timeless Reanimator deck? Not really. So I think Reanimator is probably not meaningfully better in Timeless than it is in Historic. Like, if you look at the ban cards, none of them are Reanimator cards. Arena's missing really good reanimation spells. There's just not really good reanimation spells. Not like Eternal style. There's fine ones like on Burial Rites or whatever, but there's not the like Reanimate or Persist style, like super fast Eternal flavored Legacy spells on Arena yet. But I'm sure they'll be coming, so no Entomb either. Yeah, no Entomb, no Reanimate. So you can't do the like Legacy style Reanimator. So it's more like mid-rangey Reanimator, which is fine. But I don't know if it stands up to like, a lot of these decks are pretty high powered. I'm not sure the like 4-mana reanimation spells are going to be able to stand up against the Dark Ritual, Necro, Brainstorm, Memory Lapse counterspell decks. How do you feel about unbanning the ban cards and just making them restricted so we can play Demonic Tutor? They are restricted. That is what this format does. So this format does use a restricted list like Vintage. So Demonic Tutor is on the restricted list. So you can still play it, but you can only play 1 copy of it. Same for Channel and Tybalt's Trickery. All the rest of these cards are... So this is the Historic ban list. So these are the cards that are different, basically, between Historic and Timeless. So When do the restrictions take place? Are they restricted the cards? Yes. Yes. So this list is the cards that were banned in Historic that are now legal in Timeless. Demonic Tutor, so all these cards you can play as 4-ofs, except Channel is restricted, Demonic Tutor is restricted, and Tybalt's Trickery is restricted. So they actually are doing a full-on vintage-style restricted list. So nothing's banned. No banned cards at all. Every single card is legal, but those 3 cards are restricted, so only 1 copy per deck. Which is really cool. I'm glad they're doing it. I'm glad they're embracing it. I'm really hyped about it, so... Ooh, Iron Crag. Yeah, I'm gonna build a sneak attack deck. I don't know what the finisher is. Maybe it's just Ulamog. That's kind of boring, but maybe Griselbrand. There's no fast mana, right? So part of what you could do in like Legacy sneak attack is you like Griselbrand and then you hit a Lotus Petal or a Simian Spirit Guide, something that makes another red mana. So you Griselbrand the first sneak attack and then draw into fast mana to put something else into play with sneak attack to win. I don't think we can do that on Arena though, because there's no Lotus Petal. Maybe can we do it with Mox Amber? No, but Griselbrand's black. I don't know. I'm gonna have to dig into sneak attack. There's also not a backup. There's no show and tell. So maybe sneak attack is like in the future good card. Maybe we're just not quite there yet, but we will be in the future once we get a few more sets. But ooh, New Galta would actually be fun. Sneak attack New Galta, put the rest of the stuff into play. That actually, wait, is there Cloudstone Curio in here? There's not, right? Cloudstone Curio combos with New Galta too. 5-mana Purphoros, yeah. So I guess the main upside is sneak attack is just faster. Because Purphoros, it's 3 to put something into play. I guess it's also restricted to red and artifact creatures. The big upside of sneak attack is like, get to 5 mana, sneak attack, cheat something in, hopefully win the game. So it's just faster than Purphoros. But I guess Purphoros could be a good backup. But yeah, we need the Eldrazi. I mean, all of this, and this also makes me even more hyped for Modern Horizons 3, which is coming out. Modern Horizons 3, we've already seen Eldrazi in like the key art. They're already like hyping up for Eldrazi returning. So you know they're, ooh, Sundering Titan. Ooh, Sundering Titan that is actually a hilarious option. If we're mono red and we saw all these 3 to 5 color decks today, sneak attack, Sundering Titan, sack it, end step, double trigger, that probably is just like a one-sided Armageddon. Ooh. But yes, so there's a lot of possibilities in these formats with these unbanned cards and fetch lands. But anyway, everyone, I think that brings us to the end of our stream for today. I gotta go get the bear, take him out for a walk before it gets too dark out here. So reminders, replay YouTube. That's where you can find all the old streams, including this one in the future. Normal YouTube, tons of stuff coming up on the YouTube. There is Timeless. It's going to take me a few days to get Timeless recorded, but it is coming, so expect that in the future. Nasmith for the 83rd month. Welcome back to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big scoop cheer for you. Thank you. Naz, will you do me a favor? Will you email me the Timeless deck list you've been sending me? I'll see what I can do. Send me an email with the Timeless deck list when you get a chance, and I will see about playing them in the future. Northern Vanguard, welcome you as well. Big scoops here for you. Thank you. One more reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. If you need some magic cards, you can make cardkingdom.com/FTDGoldfish. Most importantly, y'all are amazing and awesome. Thank you to all of you. Have an amazing night. Have a great day. We'll be back next week to have some more fun. Check out the YouTube in between. Until then, everyone, I love y'all. Thank you so much for being awesome, and I will talk to you soon.